All righty. Let's get it cracking. All right. I am super excited for this game. We'll see what this team looks like with their freshman QB.
R.J. Johnson III, the redshirt sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia, getting his first season
R.J. Johnson, Jesus
in college football. And when we talked with James Colsey III, you know, he really liked the development of this young man and the way that he has grown. And you pointed out earlier for us about the way he's taken care of the football.
And he's becoming more and more consistent with the repetitions that he gets. And that'll be key for this ball club, his consistency.
Three wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. The handoff initially.
Can I say something real quick? Did Jackson State get Jay off this broadcast? I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Like, did Jackson State get, because I've never heard Tiffany without Jay. So I'm curious, did Jackson State people say we sick and tired of this? We sick and tired of this Bama right here.
Clogs everything up, you know, occupies space, occupies linemen, and allows those linebackers to flow downhill.
Got him. Got him.
Action rolling out to his right, has a man, and it's dropped in and out of the hands of Jamar Taylor. He was trying to hit him on that crossing route on the run. Cam Salas on the coverage.
And a good job by Johnson escaping the pocket, allowing himself the extra time that he needed. You've got Taylor coming across.
You got to catch that.
Squeeze that football.
You got to catch that.
Quarterback out. You ran
that hurts.
The right way it was supposed
that
to
hurts.
ran, but you've got to
yeah, he got to catch that. That ain't on RJ on that one. That hurts. Can't even lie to you right now. That hurts.
Conversions, 44% on the year for Florida A&M. They've got to get to the 20-yard line in order to convert. Johnson saw the pressure, unloads, and the pass is incomplete. Goldie Lawrence was the intended target, and right there with him was KJ Chisholm.
Should have been a flag.
He had three wides to the right. You had layered route concepts going on the right side of the field. I thought that was maybe where he had an opportunity, or the quick pass on the out to Thad Franklin. You've got to get it out to him immediately. You've got Franklin out in the flat, one-on-one with the linebacker. That's a favorable matchup. So I think, you know, making quicker decisions is something that the coaching staff will talk to him when he comes to the sideline.
Bobby Inksler, the redshirt freshman out of the capital city here in Florida, Tallahassee, from his own end zone, punts it away. It rolls into Tiger territory as Travis Terrell Jr. letting it roll, and it's going to be down at about the 40-yard line. So a 48-yard punt and good starting field position for Jackson State. You talked about the red shirts, or the true freshman quarterback in Jarrett Lockhart. Second start of the season for Lockhart. You see back on September 13th, has an excellent game against Division II Tuskegee. Saw action last week as well, and here T.C. Taylor says he's going with the young arm. On the carry, Ahmad Miller trying to get to the outside.
Oh, they done started Ahmad Miller. They said we're not playing. They said we're not playing today. They said we're not playing today. They said we're going to Ahmad Miller. T.C. Taylor been hearing that talk. T.C. Taylor has been hearing that talk, okay?
Backfield that the Tigers
again
have. He leads the way for the Tigers coming into today's game.
Jesus.
Lockhart overthrows his man. Late as Kobe Paul was trying to run that route, maybe a piece.
If you're FAMU, you got exactly what you wanted. You got exactly what you wanted. They didn't run the ball, and then you get the flag. It's like, like the O-line literally had them pushed 3 to 4 yards back. Like that. That's what you want, and then you get the pass interference call. It's like, come on, bro. Like, just run the route with the dude. I mean, goddamn, you wrapped the. Just run the route with the guy.
Florida A&M wants to do it. They want to be physical with these receivers, but you've got to get up on the line of scrimmage and be physical with them at scrimmage. You can't be that deep and try to get physical and get hands on the receiver.
Lockhart, patient with time, throws and connects.
Again, he's a fucking true freshman quarterback. Blitz his ass.
tight end.
And a great pocket by the offensive line. Lockhart's able to kind of step up in the pocket, climb the pocket a little bit. He surveys
That's
the
a
field.
basic
He
mesh with a
finds what he
sit-down
wants,
route,
and he gets the
man.
ball
Come
down
on,
the field.
bro.
The offensive line so far has done a good job of blocking you and giving him time as well as opening up lanes for these backs.
From the 30 of Florida A&M, Ahmad Miller goes to the perimeter on that outside run, picks up 6 yards.
And right now, Florida A&M is not doing a good job of maintaining the edges. You've got to keep that edge. You cannot come downhill crashing, trying to make the big play. One of the things the coaching staff talked to us about is run fits, keeping your gap, being gap sound, staying in your gaps, not giving up your gap, trying to make the big play.
On 2nd and 4, Lockhart looking for the end zone.
No spy. No spy. This is bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. Did you not watch the freaking Grambling game? How you're not blitzing, nor do you have a spy on this kid is crazy. It's crazy to me.
A&M has to do a good job.
Stupid. It's bad defense.
On the carry, there's Ahmad Miller once again. Cameron Donald in on the stop, along with Chase Lloyd. Well, pretty automatic here for Jackson State when they get in the red zone, especially over the last 3 games. 14 of 16. They've scored 10 touchdowns and had 4 field goals in that 3-game stretch. Tigers looking to get on the board first. Lockhart looks, runs, keeps himself, fumbles the football. And Jameel Gardner along with a
Let's go! Needed it. Needed it. He's doing too much. They doing too much. Just run the ball. They doing too much.
To do a good job by the Florida A&M defender to get his hand in there and knock that ball out, and a better job by his teammate to find the ball and cover it up, because you did have a Jackson State player going over there to try and get on top of that football. Big play for Florida A&M.
Second red zone touch.
0-0.
The season for Jackson State. And how about Amari Lee after that pass interference redeems himself, comes up with the fumble recovery. Rattler football when we return.
Again, I don't. Okay, this is my issue with what Jackson State is doing. There's no need to prove to anybody that you can run your offense with the true freshman. Like, oh yeah, we can still do what we do. We can still, for what? For what? Make FAMU stop what you are. You are a run first team. Run the ball. Stop. Like, you don't need the freshman to throw. Like, I get it. You want to get them comfortable. I understand. But the way you get them comfortable is if you just run the damn ball to where all he has to do is say, run left, run right. And we're just handing the ball off like you're trying to. Why are you trying to prove that you can run your offense? Like, this is what I mean by I think coaches are trying to get too cute or they're trying to do too much. Like, make FAMU stop the running a game. Make them show you that they can stop you from running the ball before you put the ball in the air. That's my whole thing. That's my whole thing. That's my whole thing, man. I want Jackson State to lose. I want them to lose so bad. But my issue is this. It's like, don't be dumb. Like, just don't be dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing. Don't be stupid. And I feel like that was a dumb play call. You're in the red zone. Run the ball, man. Run the ball. Why are we making this difficult? Run the ball. Very simple. Very simple. But, you know, hey, teach them.
What a turn of events in this one. As
it's on ESPN Plus.
The field, and then Jarrett Lockhart with the fumble here. Let's take another look, Forrest.
She was about to say Jay. She was about to say Jay.
But you see him holding the ball out like a loaf of bread, and Nayron Jenkins does a good job.
She was about to say Jay.
Once again, when you're a quarterback, you're not used to running the football in traffic. You have to keep that ball high and tight, especially when you're that close, because you got defenders coming from all parts of the field. And a good job right there by Nayron Jenkins to knock it out, and a better job by Amari Lee to make up for that pass interference by covering up that football and giving the ball back to us.
Again, guys, it's not about that. What's up, coach? It's not about that. He shouldn't have to be making reads in the red zone. Run the ball. Why are y'all trying to give excuses? That is an excuse. You're in the red zone. Run the ball. You have the best running attack in the game. Run the ball. Don't put your quarterback in that situation.
But right there, you cannot have that. You know, you've got two linemen, lineman and a tight end. You know the snap count. So you should not be jumping off sides, especially with the ball as close to the goal line as it is.
They need to throw this bubble route real quick.
I'm just telling my quarterback, hey, it happened. You can't worry about it. You can't do anything about it, but get better and learn from it.
They need to throw this bubble route to the outside really quickly. I wouldn't run this ball. I would not run this ball. I would not run this ball. I would not run this ball.
Agricultural and Mechanical University, and that is.
I'm telling you, see, you shouldn't run. Oh my God. Throw the bubble route and take the one-on-one. Take the one-on-one matchup. Don't run it into this front. Don't run it into this front. Don't do it. Throw the one-on-one route and let them do. This is dumb.
Offset. You're
throw the bubble
into the end zone right now, allowing them to possibly get pushed up the field.
And R.J. Johnson keeps it himself. And again, not much room to run. Stood up by and met by Reed Pulliam and a few other white jerseys. Third down here. Ball spotted at the 1 yard line of Florida A&M.
And now your focus is getting room for your punter at this point because you have not gotten any yards on your first 2 plays. I don't like trying to stretch it when you got everybody up in the box close to the line of scrimmage. Once again, this defense is too fast, too aggressive, too upfield to try and stretch it when you're that close to your own end zone.
Watch out for big number 6, Quincy Ivory, in white to the top of your screen. Catches it in the end zone, got to get out, barely lunging out as KJ Chisholm makes the tackle. 3 consecutive plays and no yards in that possession for Florida A&M.
Well, you went with the play action on that play, and I thought if you were going to do play action, the first play should have been a play action pass. This play right here, it's very obvious that it's going to be play action. You see everyone coming up. Everybody's inside the box. So this is a...
Let me tell you how dumb this play is, right? Okay. If you don't know football, I wish I had a... Listen, let me tell you how dumb this play is. You cannot run this play. You can't run this play like this, right? You have the receiver here, and then you have the motion receiver come here. There's 2 people. Right? I don't know if you guys can see that. There's 2 people right here, right? This receiver is called a stock block, right? The stock block means you pick what you got to pick the one that comes the closest, whoever shoots down first. That is a hard sell inside your freaking 5 because everybody's playing downhill. That's a hard sell in the stock block. What you should do is make it a tunnel screen. Right? You can see this, right? Hopefully I can see this. You want to make it you should have had 1, 2, 3 guys, right? And then they go block, and then he comes back around and he has the blockers to go make a move. It's not stock blocking. It's just a bad play call. You got 1 guy trying to stock block 2 people. And if anything, the inside guy should have got the outside guy to make the inside defender have to come across to make the tackle. It's bad. It's a bad play call in that situation. That's why I said they should have thrown the bubble, right? If you throw the bubble, you got the inside guy, you got the outside guy, you got corner. If you throw the bubble, you automatically have this guy blocking the outside guy in the inside. Oh my gosh, man! This shit's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's just dumb. It's dumb. Man. I'm sorry. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. I wish I had like a whiteboard or something because that was just bad. That's just bad. It's just bad. Right? Like your best bet was
from scrimmage on this drive.
What I would have liked to
Travis
seen is this,
Terrell
right?
Goes backwards, a loss of 1 on that run. But out of the capital city of Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, never mind. I can't.
This was one of them as Jarrett Lockhart stays alive, keeps his eyes down the field, and pass complete to Kobe Paul.
And he was extremely close to the line of scrimmage on that play. A portion of his body was still behind the line of scrimmage, which allowed
This FAMU defense is just good.
Pass, but he was very close. But a good job of keeping his eyes down the field, something you don't usually see with a young quarterback.
Big chunk play, 20 yards, sets them up at the 10-yard line, back in the red zone. Let's see if the Tigers can capitalize here as Denario Davenport, who came off an excellent weekend against Grambling, led the team with 98 yards.
First quarter.
About 9
It's the
yards.
first quarter. 0-0. Jackson State is driving into the red zone and second and goal.
And you see the dangers of playing against a quarterback like Jarrett Lockhart because he's been able to run the ball effectively. When he starts to run, those linebackers have to react, opening up lanes for those receivers with the underneath routes. So you have to decipher, is he climbing the pocket or is he actually running the football?
And late to get their personnel onto the field as some confusion here. And a timeout is spent.
Timeout, Jackson State. Their first charge, timeout of the half. 30 seconds, 30-second timeout.
Well, you saw one player run on, and then it was like, wait a minute, there's another one that needs to come on, then Florida A&M sub late as well.
And what's interesting,
Where you deployed at, man? What part of Oconus are you in? Kuwait, Korea? Let me know. Let them know where you're tuning in from, man.
a penalty, so that was smart for Florida A&M, whether they wanted to bring in someone or not to make that clock go down. So kind of, a little mind game going on right there.
Well, T.C. Taylor, who helped deliver national championship back to Jackson, 5th overall for the program. He's grown his own garden with high school guys, was portal heavy the first year, had a big turnover, and now a nice balance in this group in the 2025 version here on 2nd and goal. Travis Terrell,
what a angle by 27. Great angle by 27.
Linebacker, loss of 2, so again, keeping Terrell at bay.
And Rouse did a good job of navigating the traffic, finding the seam to get up the field, avoiding those blockers, trying to get to the second level and get a body on the body. That's what you have to do if you're Rouse. You have to realize and recognize you're a better athlete than those offensive linemen. You've got to get skinny, get slippery, and get up the field.
Watch this slant on the backside, and they need to have a spy on the freshman.
Thompson and his defense can come up with from Florida A&M, and the pressure
Great play call.
in the face.
Great play call.
Nicholas Demetrius of the quarterback thrown off the mark. Denario Davenport couldn't get to it, and it's 4th and goal, so the kicking unit comes on. And another strong stand here as you see Demetrius, big number 0 in green.
A good job of bending but not breaking by the Florida A&M defense. You gave up the big play on the pass play, the chunk play, but you were able to bend and not break and force the field goal attempt.
Gerardo Beza from 24 yards out to try to
Appreciate
get
you, man.
the Tigers on the board. It's up and it's through. So Jackson State breaks through the scoreboard first with a field goal. And Gerardo Beza gets the congratulations afterward. 5th made field goal.
I wish I could show you the game, Walt, man. I really wish I could show you the game. Again, I know there's some channels out there that do that. I am not allowed to because of my platform. Okay, so I just want to be very clear about that. I can't do what everybody else does. So I apologize that you guys cannot watch we can't watch the game together. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just one of those things that I got to deal with because of who I am. So, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
It's already rolling now for this news.
But I wish I could do it. Let me see this is okay. Let me see if I can do this real quick, right? What I would have liked to see right? Let me see if I can see this. Okay. What I would have liked to see is this, right? Is that if you have a receiver, and then let's say you have the quarterback, right? And then you got another receiver here, right? This is what they asked them to do. There's a DB here and a DB here, right? They're asking him to stock block, which means whichever one shoots down first, you pick that blocker up, and then this guy has to make a miss. But what you would have preferred is him to just go out and block this guy, make this guy have to come across, and then he makes a move and gets back in, makes a move and go back out, right? That's what you would like for that situation to have happened. But he ended up doing, whatever he wanted to do. Now, how I would have preferred it to be ran, right, is you run it with a guy in the inside, a guy here, and then maybe motion your running back out, and he gets on the line as well. And now, because what's going to happen is this: they got a corner. They're going to either have a guy split the difference here or right on top, and then you have a linebacker. So what you have is this guy goes out and block. This guy goes out and block. He comes in, gets the bubble. Now he has to beat this guy or beat the safety coming down, but you'll take that, right? You'll take that. But there wasn't enough blockers for one-on-one, and Jackson State is too aggressive to do it the way that they did it, which I absolutely hate. I absolutely hate that. So that's just my little 2 cents on it. So get back to the game.
Johnson, the president, and this name of the field, Ken Riley Field. There's one of the 2 Hall of Famers, and there's James Colsey III leading the Rattlers. Remember, he went 7-5 last year, second in the SWAC East. He knew those expectations were good, but not good enough for Florida A&M, and he's looking to turn things around, keep his team in the hunt here. And Forrest, from what you've known of him as a former teammate, what can you tell America about James Colsey III?
Well, he's a tough guy. He's not going to quit. He has always battled against the odds. When he came to Florida State, he was one of the 2 smaller players that came in the class of '93, but he was one of 4 people that did not get redshirted. Him, Warwick Dunn, Pooh Bear Williams, and Renard Wilson were the 4 guys in that class that did not get redshirted because of his playmaking ability, his belief in what he would be able and capable of doing. And you see that with this ball club. It didn't start out well for this FAMU ball club this season. They were behind the 8 ball, but the last 2 games they've gotten back on track, starting with that big homecoming win, the big win last week, the comeback win, 21 points in the 4th quarter. So they believe that they have everything that they need to be successful, but they've got to continue to keep pushing. I like what I saw from the defense. They bend but not break on that last series and not giving up but 3 points when they were in the shadow of their own end zone. So let's see if they can continue to follow his lead and, try and get a win.
JSU 3, FAMU 0. Let's get it. First quarter, 6:49 left in the first quarter.
They'll start this drive from their own 25-yard line. R.J. Johnson III hands it off to Thad Franklin.
Face mask.
Face mask.
Face mask.
And a flag comes out to confirm it.
Jesus Christ.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 94. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
So Stanley Cooks the second got a piece of the face mask, 10-yard run plus the penalty here.
And you see the strength of Thad Franklin right there. You see the face mask, his helmet is almost pulled off, but he's able to pull away from that and get an additional 8 yards. And I think this is what you need to see from the Florida A&M offense. Get your big power back Franklin going. He's a volume carrier, 6'1", 225 pounds. Allow him to continue to beat up and pound on this defense.
From the 50-yard line, the jet sweep there to Kenari Wilcher, and Wilcher.
I'm not gonna lie, I like
game of about 7.
I like this offensive. I like what this offensive line from FAMU looks like right now. They look really aggressive. They look really agile and nimble. They're looking really, really good. But again, like I said, you got to get Wilcher just involved. If you just get Wilcher involved, he's too fast not to get him involved, right? So I love that play call. I love the O-line moving the way they are. That's great. That is great.
That's what you want to see from your interior linemen.
Those are the meaty guys, along with Ashton Grable, that this coaching staff raves about their leadership, experience, And here on 2nd and 3,
Woo!
Jr.
Woo!
Clark, Florida, the senior who's just so strong. He's got that great combination
Woo-wee!
of balance and body
But
control.
he
Pickup
said
of
you
8 and
better
a first
break
down.
some bricks when you come to see me. What? Yikes! Ooh-wee! Better break some bricks when you come and meet me. Oh my God!
State ball player Ashton Taylor, you came in high.
I like that. I like that. Somebody get the license plate on that.
Who we talked about in the open.
Come on,
was
man.
The spark plug the last couple of weeks is in now. RJ Johnson goes deep, has a man, and it gets a piece of Kanari Wiltshire. Just a little confusion there, and you know Johnson wants that one back.
And he had what he wanted. They went with.
He gotta go to the inside. He threw it to the outside.
Linebackers got caught looking inside. You've just got to put it over the opposite shoulder. Shamar Hawkins got caught looking inside, and you saw the receiver turning the opposite way. Rogers trying to find the football. If he throws it over, Wiltshire, if he throws it over the right shoulder, you might be celebrating a touchdown right now.
2nd and 10, good hands by Jamal Haley, and Ashton Taylor was the first to get to him.
And that's an extension of the run game, getting the ball out to your receiver in the flat. But
now that let me explain something. That should be a setup play. And what I mean by a setup play is you should run that maybe in the second quarter again. You run that same play with Haley, but this time instead of going to the bubble, you go over the top. That's how you set that up. That is a setup play. Like I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna show it to you again, and then the next time you see it, it's not what you think it is. I'm faking that to Haley, and I'm going over the top of your head. That is a good setup play.
3rd and 9. The Rattlers looking to convert.
Slant, you're late.
Johnson feels the pressure, steps up, and
he's late. What are you looking at?
And they're playing one high safety, and Johnson had an opportunity.
What are you looking at?
On the crossing route, there's no one there. You've got to get rid of the football.
Jesus! What is he looking at? If you got the numbers to the left, you got to know it's to the left.
You got to be able to see that.
It's
There's
a
nobody
slant.
right there. You've got number 1, Jalen Rogers right there, coming across the field. Get it to him. There's nobody there. He will be able to turn up the field and not only get the first down, but probably get an additional 10 to 15 yards.
It's a catch and throw, man. It's not even the fucking play is a catch and throw. It's a catch and throw. The slant is your first read. It should have been his. What is he looking at?
On once again. His 3rd punt as they take the delay of game to back them up.
Delay game.
5 extra yards.
Offense. Number 38. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So just a little bit more room to try to pin Jackson State deep inside their own territory.
And I've never liked taking those penalties. I mean, what does 5 yards do? I mean, I get I understand the logic, but I don't understand the logic.
When you see a little bit more field, you feel like you can angle it a little bit better or approach it.
I guess.
I'm not yourself a little leeway.
I'm thinking from a lineman's perspective, I guess.
Inksler gives that one a chance, and the extra real estate help right there inside the 5.
I can see those 5 yards did help.
Guys, the thing with RJ is, do you know where the ball's supposed to go to? Because the fact that he's looking to the right when the numbers are to the left, it doesn't make any sense. The field side is to the left. It doesn't make any sense of why you would be looking to the right. You had one receiver to the right. All your receivers are to the left. You knew you had a short route with the wheel route behind. I don't understand why he's even looking to the right.
Everybody's going to be close inside the box. So if a runner is able to get to the 2nd level, there's not going to be defenders there.
The rush by Ahmad Miller, and Miller gets out to the 10-yard line after a gain of 7.
And you see Jackson State going with tempo. They're lining up on the football. They don't want to allow Florida A&M to get any substitutions in the game. Once again, they've got to be careful with their defense. You've got a lot of people down in the box.
Riley goes in motion. That right side, getting a little extra girth there, and that's the way that Ahmad Miller goes, but what a defensive stop there. Good play by Antonio Kamen. Kamen out of Tampa, Florida, transferred in from Pitt.
Excellent job of
Corey
setting
Collier
the edge.
Jr.
Excellent job of getting up there and making the tackle. That is what you have to do. Attack the back's legs. You can't attack high because that's when you'll get shook. A good job of attacking the legs, the lower body of those backs.
So that tackle by Corey Collier Jr. sets up 3rd and 1. And the second best rushing team in FCS able to notch that 1 yard needed. Collier once again with the tackle.
That's literally all. Jackson State could literally do that up the whole field. I'm so serious. Like all the extra stuff that you're seeing with, you know, them and all that, they could literally do that all the way up the field, honestly, and just don't even have to worry about nothing else. Just run the ball.
Lockhart stepping up. The defender falls down, has a man wide open, and just overthrows Janae.
I told you, Jacoby and Morgan 2.0. He is Jacoby and Morgan 2.0.
At behind the defender.
I can say whatever
He was
you
there
want.
for the taking. And that's the second time we've seen Jarrett
I
Lockhart.
can say whatever you
Miss on one of those two
he's
throws.
Jacoby and Morgan 2.0.
Dupree on Collier. Collier, the rover back, is not who you want if you're Florida A&M covering one of their speed vertical receivers.
Lockhart, play action. Quick, Nate Rimbert. And Rimbert with his first reception of the game, brought down by Jalik Thomas. So it's going to bring up 3rd and short. I'm going to say about 4 yards. They got to get to the 30-yard line. Under a minute and a half to go in this opening quarter. These teams control their own destiny, especially for Jackson State wanting to stay in the hunt in the SWAC East. And they hand it off, and there's Denario Davenport, got plenty of blocking and more. He's dragging Nayron Jenkins with them into Rattler territory, and what an impressive run by Denario Davenport.
I don't know. I don't know why y'all act like I don't know what I'm talking about. He doesn't have to throw the ball. I can't keep stressing that enough. He doesn't have to throw the ball at none of this point in this game. He could literally do that all game and they will win. Literally.
The dudes up front, they give it to number 10 in white, Davenport.
Literally. He could literally do that all game and they would not lose this game. That is how bad FAMU is as a team.
From Jackson State.
And again, FAMU can't miss opportunities like that. When you have the guy streaking wide open and whatever, because again, the worst part of this Jackson State defense is the DBs. You got to make them pay.
You got to get a hat on a hat because their ability to disrupt what you want to do offensively. And he said no. He said there's nobody on the FAMU defense that scares them from an offensive perspective. And, you know, in my 14 years of calling football games, I've never had a coach say that. So the confidence that he has in this offensive line and this football team to run the football, you see it oozing out of him when you talk to him, and you see it oozing out of this.
You don't really play anybody, though. Like, if we're being honest, there's nobody. Think about this. There's nobody that he plays for the rest of the season that he has to worry about throwing the ball. And if you do make it throws, they don't have to be long, deep throws. They could literally be drags, hitches, comebacks, in stuff that any quarterback should be able to make. Any D1 quarterback should be able to make those throws. Like, I mean, taking your shot, of course, you just take your shots as they come or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Play action this, play action that. But he really, honestly, no. Honestly, no. Because your running attack, your offensive line and your running game is so good, you could literally just run the ball for 200 to 300 yards and maybe pass for 120, 130 or whatever and win the game. That's really what it comes down to. I don't like. If you keep trying to make stuff difficult, you're going to put your quarterback and your team in a situation to where they didn't have to be in, and they could just dominate. That's it. That is literally it. So I think, again, I think JSU is just, they're just, I think they're just playing around, if I'm being honest. They're just playing around, like trying shit. Like, because if honestly, They literally could have just been like, we'll just run the ball. Left, run it right, run it middle, run it left, run it right, and win a game. And just get up out of there. So it is what it is. Kirk. I think the offensive coordinator is Kirk. Kirk something. So again, if you got the offensive, if you got the head coach and the offensive, if you got anybody from Jackson State saying nobody on the, and I agree with them, nobody on FAMU's defense should scare you. No, nothing about FAMU's defense should scare you. That's why I said if you're FAMU, you have to go all out, either blitzing or putting pressure on this running back, or putting pressure on this quarterback. You gotta go downhill. You gotta play downhill. You gotta play with a reckless abandonment. But if you want to keep playing this laissez-faire, sit back and we just gonna cover and play good D and tackle, okay, all right. You're not good enough. You're just not good enough. So, and offensively, you're not good enough as well. Yeah, the call lines are open.
Welcome back to Bragg. James Coley III, and joining us now, your Florida A&M team.
Just like, and again, your quarterback is not as good as T-Set, right? T-Set bought you time. T-Set could make the throw. T-Set could do a lot of good things, but this quarterback ain't that.
Keep up any big plays, but right now, big down for us. Third down's kind of been an issue for us all season, so we'll see what we can do here.
Well, Coach, Dad Franklin got going on that last drive with some power runs. Is that something you look to do with him moving forward, getting him the ball more and getting him some more volume carries?
Well, regardless of what quarterback's playing for them, man, we got to be able to run the ball to keep this offense, on the sideline. So, we had an opportunity right there. I thought if we would have got a few more yards on that third down play, I would have tried to take a field goal, but I thought that this was too long. We did a good job of pinning them deep. But right now, third down, got to get off the field. But for us to be successful, Dad Franklin has to get 100 yards. So if we can continue to do that, he'll be able to do that.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Hey,
we appreciate
you
the time.
guys.
So the defensive unit, bend but don't break. You heard it there from James Coley III. For, as you already said that earlier in tonight's broadcast, 3rd and 6, a big one here. Going for it deep once again. Tough throw between a couple of defenders, and Janalen.
That's a freshman trying to do something he doesn't need to do. If he takes the drag route, it's a first down.
Fourth down.
So
if he just takes the drag route, which was wide ass open, it's, first of all, he should have caught it. It should have been a pick. But if he takes the drag route, it's a freaking first down. He's forcing it into double coverage. For what? What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove? There's nothing to prove.
Up the field and get the first down. But that's the young quarterback, once again, not having the recognition that you would probably have more so.
What's up, Mr. Hill?
This call is being recorded.
Hey, how you doing, Scott? How you doing, man?
Dang, it sound like you got me on a jail line. This call is being recorded. What's going on?
No, man. No, man. I had a quick question for you.
Talk to me.
If Grambling went out, do Mickey Joseph stay, or is he still gone?
I think Mickey just leaves because he doesn't want to deal with it. If I'm Mickey Joseph, I just leave.
Okay.
I don't want to deal with it, right? Like, you can walk away saying Jackson State has never beat me, which is great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kept that whole mantra of Grambling being, but I would just walk away if I'm Mickey. Like, I don't need the headaches. I really don't. I could go Power 4, Power 5, be a lead recruiter, make $300,000-$400,000 and kick back and chill. Go with my brother. Go to my brother and be with the Falcons and kick it with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
This call is no longer being recorded.
Okay. I was just wondering, man, because they want
This call is being recorded.
Quarterback from the truck stop. So I was just wondering, do he stay if he went out? If he somehow beat Bethune and close it out with Southern, I was just wondering, would he still stay, or if they still need to be looking for a coach?
I would be looking for a coach just to have a short list, because if I'm Mickey Joseph, what's the point of staying? Like from my point for Mickey's like, what's the point of staying? Like, he's not a SWAC guy to where this is all he has.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I get that part.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he can easily, I mean, LSU got a coaching job over. He can easily come back to LSU and coach receivers.
Easily.
And make more than making that Grambling.
Easily kick it, go back with Frank Wilson. If Frank Wilson gets the job, kick it with him. You know
especially if it's that is, you know especially if Frank get the job. That's a done deal if Frank get the job. Ed Ogeron coming back, everybody, the old staff, go get Tommy Moffitt from Texas A&M. Yeah, they getting the old band back together if Frank get the job. But yeah, I just had that question. I just wanted to know, you know what I mean, would he stay or should they still be looking for a coach?
Look, be looking. Be looking. That's what I would say. Be looking.
All right, man. Appreciate you taking my call.
Hey, no problem, Mr. Hill. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't see the point of Mickey staying.
Here as well from Tallahassee.
For years, everyone thought Verizon had the best network because
we are being super conservative. Listen, that's what y'all been that all year. I don't know why y'all trying to act like y'all haven't been. Oh, vanilla, y'all been this all year. You've been this all year. You've just been able to be vanilla and beat bad teams. You have to be vanilla because RJ Johnson don't know what the hell he looking at. You have to be vanilla because Burris isn't really calling a very good game. I mean, he hasn't really called very good games. And again, and to me, like Jamal Haley, you should be trying to figure out ways to like get him out, fake toss or toss it, get him on the edge, just get him in space. Stop trying to run him up the freaking gut. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, man, I just don't, when I see stuff like that, I just throw my hands up because you know what it is when it comes to FAMU or how these teams are going to play. Cause you're not being somebody different. You are who you are. You just are playing a team that either can handle what you do well or don't do well. But coaching and offensive play calling in the SWAC is so redundant and it's so basic. It just doesn't. You don't see the exploitation of what teams don't do well, right? Like, okay, Jackson State is a super aggressive team. Well, I got to figure out ways to take advantage of their aggressiveness. Double moves, fake screens. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a double screen or a fake screen with a wheel route. Like you got to find ways to take advantage of what they do not do well. And double pass. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a flea flicker. Like you got to pull some stuff out because again, you're not good enough to beat them mano a mano. Like, hey, we're going to run the ball down your throat and we're just going to battle. You're not good enough for that. You're just not talented enough for that. So you got to come up with some tricky stuff. And it's okay. It just got to hit. It just has to hit.
Forrest Connolly, Tiffany Green back here with you in Tallahassee, Florida, as Jackson State with a 3-0 lead over Florida A&M. The Rattlers trying to keep their SWAC postseason hopes alive and try to stay in the hunt for that SWAC East division.
This formation is not working out in FAMU's favor.
On 2nd and 9.
It's just too condensed.
From the FAMU 8-yard line, RJ Johnson, the third, has time, delivers it. Haley tries to make a move, slips, and Reed Pulliam.
Again, the formation is too condensed. It doesn't benefit. It doesn't benefit FAMU in its speed. If you shrink your...
The redshirt junior who began his career at Western Michigan. Originally from Benton Harbor, Michigan. And he's a guy that Jackson State said they needed to keep their eye on. They're trying to get him involved somehow.
Now, I like this formation. I would do something to the field side, maybe like a corner or something like that, but it should be there. Step up. He almost got it. He almost had it. That's a good call. That was a good call. He almost had it, though. He almost had it. But that you should make that call on 2nd down.
And that was a great effort by Wiltshire right there. If he's able to keep his feet, I think he has enough space.
You make that call on 2nd down. So now it's 3rd and 3. You get what I'm saying? Like, you make that call. You make that call on 2nd down, so now it's 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 4. So now you can do something different. But man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
In this game and giving Travis Terrell plenty to try to chase down. He bobbles it. It goes out of bounds, and Rattlers can't get to it in time. Very fortunate for Jackson State.
And what's interesting is he bobbled the punt, but he didn't go after it. He was real sure that that punt was going to go out of bounds. I would have been a little bit more aggressive in going after that football.
He definitely touched that.
Maybe he feels like it didn't touch him, but I still would have been a little bit more aggressive as opposed to watching that.
That was a good call. It was a good call. Missed tackles or not, it's a good call. That's part of football.
We've seen his offense so far with 20 plays, 122.
And you got the ball to one of your fastest players, which I'm always in agreement with.
More rhythm going. They've had success on the ground, 86 yards, and they go back to that ground attack. That's Travis Terrell Jr., who doubles not only as a specialist, but also a part of that stable of running backs.
And a good job by Cameron Donald, number 90. He's done a good job of getting up the field penetration. He may not be making the tackles, but he's disrupting the running lanes and allowing for his teammates to get there and make those tackles.
Right there to stick Jared Lockhart. And there's number 55, Amari Williams, who was there and coming to clean things up along the way was Amari Lee.
When getting too cute, I'm just trying to tell y'all, man.
The field, a great move right here, not being fooled.
When getting too cute just doesn't go your way, just hand the ball off, man. Just hand the ball off.
Quarterback and allowing his teammate to come and clean it up.
Ricochets, nearly intercepted. That went through a couple of iterations through the hands of the receiver.
I wish y'all would just listen to me. Sometimes, again, y'all can say I'm a hater. I wish you guys would just listen to me when I tell you there's no reason for this kid to be throwing the ball. I'm going to say it again. There is no reason for this kid to be throwing all you're doing is asking him to lose confidence. Now, he could be a very confident young man. I'm not saying that he's not. What I am saying is that you don't know how quickly he can spiral. You do not know how quickly it can spiral to where it's like he starts hesitating because now I'm not seeing the field well, or I don't know this, or I don't trust it. There's no reason to keep putting your quarterback in those situations. There should be no reason why this Bama is throwing the ball the way he is. He should just run the ball. Just run the ball. That's it. Just run the ball, because he should have 2 picks right now. He already has 1 turnover on himself. He should have 2 picks right now. The one he threw in the end zone, which the kid dropped, and the one that went through the guy's hands. He should have 2 picks right now. Because, again, he's not seeing the field very well. He's not reading it right. I don't know what else. I don't know what else I got to say to you guys to make y'all say, Ike, there should be no reason why he should be throwing as much as he is. He should be turning around, handing the ball off. Triple option. It should be, come on, man. I'm just saying.
To the greatest show on earth.
If I'm FAMU, I'm not coming out running that fucking halfback dive. I'm not doing that. I'm coming out and I'm either faking the jet sweep and doing something underneath, like rolling out with RJ to one side, because, again, FAMU is going to be overplaying that jet sweep because they're just that aggressive. So I'm either going to go jet sweep and I'm going to run the jet sweep, right? Or I'm going to fake the jet sweep and roll to the other way with the play calling.
Back here, James Colsey III's team has their best starting field position of the night after starts at the 10, the 2, the 25, and their own 7-yard line. Finally, they get A ball placed at the 35-yard line. So can they take advantage of this? And you know what, Forrest, before you answer this question, we talked about the bands. Let's listen in for a second. What does that song take you back to?
I can't remember, but
doing
I like it.
The
You're doing the EU school days. Yes, sir. See, I don't get that over there with the Marks and Cheese, so I have to enjoy it when I get it.
The handoff to Thad Franklin Jr. and a gain of about 2 on the play. But let me go back to that question of how they can take advantage of their best starting field possession of the night.
Well, I think you've got to do the unexpected. When they expect you to run the ball, you've got to try and get the ball over the top. When they expect you to throw the ball, you've got to run the ball. One of the things that you do against an aggressive up-the-field defense is get the screen game going. We haven't seen a screen pass this afternoon. You know, you've got some steady backs, some guys, if they get the ball in the open field, they can make plays for you. Help your quarterback out a little bit. You know, I think you've got to make the game easier for him.
The shift from Campbell. On the snap, R.J. Johnson steps up, has plenty of room up the middle and wisely slides, and R.J. Johnson.
That's what you need to be doing. It needs to be a lot of QB powers, a lot of QB draws. That's what you need to be doing. Absolutely right there, because if you do that, it takes a person out of the defense and opens up the passing lanes. He needs to be doing a lot more of that.
Down to avoid contact, exactly how it's drawn up.
Largest play of the game for A&M, a gain of 15. Here the handoff to Thad Franklin Jr.
They got to stop doing that halfback dive shit, man. It's not going to work against Jackson.
And they had a little bit of RPO action on that play. It looked like he put the ball in his belly and came around the edge to try and influence the defense. But I just
stop going up the gut. That's the strongest part. That's the strongest part of Jackson State's defense is the front. Stop running it up the middle. I'll take the stretch. I'll take the sweeps. Stop running dives. Stop doing that.
The more he gets the ball, the more he gets carries, the more he gets going.
Trips receiver to the bottom of your screen. Johnson looking that way, tries to target Goldie Lawrence. It's incomplete. And I was going to say that's a name we haven't called much. He had 4 catches for 95 yards.
You can't ask any. I'm sorry, guys. You can't ask anything better from FAMU's offensive line. They're blocking. They're doing a hell of a job blocking this front. They really are. They're giving him a pocket. They're giving him time in the pocket. He's just not hitting it, and he should have fucking hit this drag. He should have hit the drag. He should have hit the drag. He should have hit the drag.
At the top of the screen on that play.
Well, unexpecting the snap, and the offensive line barely moved for Florida A&M. In fact, the center got pushed over. The pass incomplete, and it's 4th and 11. And again, those are the stalwarts up front with Ashton Grable, Ricky Taylor, and Charles Davis.
Missed opportunities by this offense. Great field position. Great play by Johnson to get the first down and extend the drive, and then 3 bad plays. 2 throws that I thought were thrown prematurely and early, and a missed opportunity to Thad Franklin.
Fair call at their own 12-yard line after that 36-yard punt. I'll tell you this, you never get tired of watching Florida A&M and Jackson State play because you know it's going to be a good game. You know, it was a tight game tonight. You flash back to last year. Daniel Richardson was leveled by True Thompson. The ball comes loose. Phillip Webb scoops, scores. That put Jackson State on top, and then the defense standing tall once again. Taylor comes up with it. Amari Matthews caps it off in a 35-21 victory for TC Taylor, who went undefeated.
All I'm going to do is smile. That's all I'm going to do all game. I'm just like, okay, if this is the hill you want to die on, okay.
One of the things, again, with the young quarterback is they try to get it all, as opposed to taking what the defense
I'm
gives
just
you.
like he's saying, this
And
is
I've
the
seen
hill
that
you
a
want to
couple of
die on.
times
Please
from
die on it.
Lockhart. As great as he is talent-wise, he has to continue to look at taking what the defense gives him as opposed to the big play.
Well, Davenport, who is making something happen, the cutback in Denario Davenport, who's tackled by Corey Collier Jr. Well, he gives them a burst right there on that carry. Davenport carrying over from what we saw from him last week.
And he took advantage of a
so
poor
dumb,
angle by
man.
Leon Villers coming to the inside. Villers has to understand, you
so
want to keep
dumb,
outside
man.
leverage. You want to allow for your teammates to come in pursuit.
Oh
You want to
my
keep
God,
him
this is so
inside. You
funny.
cannot give up outside leverage.
Davenport slips down, and right there to tackle him is DJ Jones.
I don't know how many times I can say it. It's just
using that
DC is just making this. DC is just making this way harder than it needs to be, bro. Like I do not understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't know.
Disrupting the blocking assignments of the offensive line.
I don't need to keep the defense honest.
Well, giving chase and Lockhart, avoiding the pressure from Brian Norris Jr. Still alive, and the pass caught but out of bounds by Jamil Gardner Jr. and a penalty marker out at the 25-yard line as well.
And I think you're going to get holding.
Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
And what happened on that play, the offensive tackle, he's giving up that outside shoulder. You've got to keep your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. What he's doing, the right tackle, is when he kicks back on that first kick step, watch the outside shoulder. Once he opens up that outside shoulder, see right there, he's reaching. Once you open up that outside shoulder, you give up a short edge, a short corner for that defensive end to get around the edge. So you've got to keep those shoulders square, get 3 kick steps back. At that point, you're at the quarterback's level. You can turn and run and pass the quarterback.
Ooh, sounded like you know that position through and through, as Latari Kinsler couldn't get to the ball carrier. Denario Davenport up ahead, and a solid gain on the play. It's still going to be 3rd and long upcoming for this Tiger offense.
And if you're Florida A&M, keep everything in front of you. If you give up the catch, give it up in front of the sticks. Make the tackle. Do not allow these receivers to climb up on you and get on top of you.
Watch this seam. You got to watch this seam. You got to watch this seam with a young quarterback. You don't want to give up anything in the middle. With a young quarterback, you don't want to give up anything in the middle. It's an easy read. You want him to go to the edges. You want him to go to the edges. Do not give up this seam. Nothing in the middle.
If you're Florida A&M defensively.
That's a false start.
Lockhart with plenty of time, dancing feet. Tries to get it, run out of bounds. And the tackle made on the Florida A&M sideline. And the coaching staff, including James Colsey III, giving a slap on the helmet to Lockhart after that effort.
Excellent job by the defensive front, getting immediate pressure on Lockhart. Once he sets his feet, he's got pressure in his face from the outside. He's got pressure, not allowing him to step up in the pocket. The only danger there was they lost contain on the left side of that defensive line, but there was too much area for him to get to try and get the first down. But a good job by that defensive line getting immediate pressure.
Back-to-back punts for the Tigers. Fielded well from Jalen Rogers, and Rogers sets up Florida A&M.
Okay, let me say this. If anybody is loving the way this game is being played right now, it is absolutely FAMU. FAMU has to be super ecstatic by how this game is going on. And this is why. The longer FAMU stays in the game, the more they believe they can play with these guys, right? The more they I'm not telling I don't think FAMU should be on the same field as Jackson State. I don't. But again, the longer this game stalls out, it benefits FAMU because all you're saying is this: we're one play away for either tying it or taking the lead and putting more pressure on the freshman. Listen, if Jackson State keeps handing the ball off, if Jackson State keeps putting this freshman in passing situations, You're only putting the pressure on the freshman. The reason why I keep emphasizing that you have to run the ball is so the freshman never feels any pressure. The pressure doesn't come. The freshman like, I'm good. I don't need to throw the ball. If I throw the ball 5 times, I'm good. I got these guys behind me that are going to make you pay. But the more they keep putting this guy in situations, the more he keeps messing up in situations, his confidence is not going to be where you need it to be in this game. So that's why I kept saying, hey, run the ball. You're a better run team. You're a great run team. FAMU, if you decided to just run the air out the ball, FAMU wouldn't be able to stop you at no point in time. And that includes Lockhart being a runner as well. But I'm telling you right now, the more this game comes around, now I think FAMU is going to make a mistake. I do believe FAMU is going to make a mistake. And I do believe Jackson State is going to take advantage of that mistake. But the more Jackson State allows FAMU to hang around, it is not a good day for it's not going to be a good day for Jackson State. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But you've just got to take a little bit.
Not saying FAMU is the better team. I'm not saying any of that. But the more mistakes you keep making, the more opportunities you miss, it's just giving FAMU more time to figure out what they need to do and have the confidence to do it. It just takes one play to change the game. Good or bad for FAMU or Jackson. Because let me tell you something. If it goes bad for FAMU, then what does FAMU say? Oh, here we go again. And then they quit. It's simple. That's why drives like these are so important for FAMU.
Games deep into the season, getting a start again tonight, who has been tabbed as the guy, but this is his first year of starting college.
I don't understand why they keep trying to run the fucking ball up the middle. That is not what you want to do with this team. Stop trying. I swear to God, nobody watches film. None of these coaches scout. Why are you trying to run the ball up the gut when that's the strongest part of this team? It doesn't make any sense.
So they feel like
Jesus Christ.
He's just got to get more and more in tune with this offense here tonight. 2nd and 11. Johnson stands tall in the pocket, and you see he took a shot there when he threw it, and then some extracurricular between Jackson State and Florida A&M. A flag was already out, as it may have been hands to the face.
And that's expected. You're down in the trenches, you're hand fighting, you're getting physical, and the physicality of the football game, especially against a defense like this that's going to get up the field and challenge you.
I think there's a double one, but I think a kid just got kicked out the game.
Personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting. Number 18 on the defense. That play will be reviewed.
Okay, so that one called against Kanye Varner. I did see him felt like he got a piece of the helmet. I thought it was more hands to the face. Let's take another look here as Johnson was about to deliver the football. Oh, no.
Yeah.
He
What is that? Bro, what are we doing? What is that? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, listen, we all understand you can't hit the quarterback's help. I get that. But targeting? That's targeting? Unsportsmanlike conduct, roughing the passer, whatever. Targeting? Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh. Jesus. Jesus.
D coordinator Terrence.
Let me tell you how this is going to go. They're going to get the first down, right? It's not going to be targeting. The guy's going to stay, whatever. I bet $1 right here, right now, and anybody can make this bet with me. I bet you $1 the first play is going to be a run up the middle. After they get this first down, I bet $1 right here, right now. First person to bet with me, I'll cash app it to you. I bet $1 right here, right now. The first play of the game, the first play after the first down is going to be a run up the gut, run up the middle. I'm just telling you that right now.
Releases it.
Like, it's definitely going to be a roughing the passer penalty. They're trying to determine if it's targeting at this point. And it's kind of questionable. I think the fact that he put his helmet down and the crown of his helmet hit the face mask of the quarterback, that's
the fact this Bama is on national television. I won't say national television. The fact that this Bama's on ESPN Plus trying to convince us that that shit is targeting is absolutely crazy. The fact that this Bama is on ESPN Plus trying to convince us that is targeting, sir, come on, bro. Like, we get it. You ain't got nothing to talk about, but you on you on ESPN Plus trying to tell us that that's targeting. You out your cotton picking mind.
Side of Tallahassee. It's a night game, so keeping your guys locked in and engaged on both sides is already a challenge. Is the night game factor playing
After further review
into this?
We do not have targeting on the play. However, do have roughing the passer, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I used to hate night games because you're sitting around all day.
Yes, we will praise him for the rest of our days. Yes.
You hated 12 o'clock kickoffs because it's like everything's happening so fast.
Yes,
but you loved it when you got to the field.
Only FAMU, boy. Only FAMU. We playing that song.
Yes.
And we will praise you for the rest of our day. Only FAMU. Only FAMU.
But the 7 o'clock kickoffs are always those ones that are a little bit more difficult because you're sitting around all day.
After the roughing the passer penalty, 1st and 10. Florida A&M in Tiger territory. Just over 5 minutes to go in the
I would like for them to leak out this tight end and throw it right here. If they leak this tight end out, that would be a good throw.
Johnson, all kinds of pressure in his face, unloads it, and the pass incomplete. The nearest.
I need y'all to understand how fucking bad RJ Johnson is. The play is designed to go to the tight end. If you catch it and float it, he's wide open. I don't know why he doesn't throw the ball. You can say whatever you want, the pressure. If he just catches it and toss it, it's there. It's there.
Knowing what's at stake as Jamal Haley breaks one up the middle. Haley with plenty of room inside.
Needed it. Needed it.
And Florida A&M,
needed it.
Their best opportunity right here. 35-yard run from Jamal Haley.
And they caught him in a run blitz. They showed 5, brought 7, and Haley's able to get to the second level, and there are no defenders there. And you see the speed. Once he sees the lane, he's able to get up the field. A great play call by Florida A&M.
The jet sweep to Goldie Lawrence, trying to get some blocking. Misses a tackler as B.J. Washington not able to come up with the initial contact, the extra effort, but no gain on the play out of all of that.
And a good play by Shamar Hawkins, number 5. He disrupted that play, slowing it down, allowing for his teammates to get up the field, that up the field pursuit. So a lot of times you're not making the actual play, but you're disrupting the rhythm of the play. Good job by Shamar Hawkins getting up the field.
I would like this fade route. I would like this fade route. I would like this.
A lot of guys in the boxes. R.J. Johnson tosses it to Jamal Haley.
Who does a toss sweep to the? Who does a toss sweep to the short side of the field? Who does that? Ah! Come on! Are you kidding me?
What you're doing is you're running everything right here. You're running to the outside. You need to be getting up the field. I don't like running left and right, side to side. I want to see downhill. This defense is too aggressive, too up the field to be trying to run to the side, trying to pitch the ball to the side and get north and south. You've got to get north and south off the initial handoff.
pass incomplete to Jamar Taylor along that right sideline. And so some jawing between Salas and one of the receivers. Or no, that's that Franklin Jr. that he's chopping it up with. 4th and 16. And the kicker, Daniel Porto, comes on to attempt it from 38 yards out. Porto, who was 3 of 3 last week against Southern. And tonight against Jackson State, he's able to convert.
All right. Now, I want to be very clear. This 2-minute drill is very important for Jackson State because it tells you what your team is going to be. It tells you what your team is going to be going forward. And what I mean by that is, do you trust Jared Lockhart in this situation to throw the ball down the field, or are you going to run the ball down the field and kind of work it that way? I think this is a very in between space that TC Taylor and Rip going to play. If it was me, I'm running the ball. Like, I'm letting FAMU get in back. I let FAMU get back into this game unnecessarily. Let's run the ball. Let's run the air out the ball. Let's make this the final drive and get some points and get to half. Because again, the longer FAMU stays in the game, the more they're going to believe that they're a good team, which they're not. Bobby, coming to you.
Got it. I'm doing my best, bro. First off, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, sir. How about yourself?
Doing well. I'm doing my best not try to make sense out of nonsense. But last year, the offensive coordinator, Burris, right? He was making more competent play calling last year. Do you think it's due to a lack of confidence in R.J. Johnson's ability to execute? Or because we've seen at least 4 plays in this time where it was a good play called, Johnson just didn't look where the ball was supposed to go?
I think it's a bit of both. You can't, if you don't know what kind of quarterback you have, I got to be overly conscious of what he can and cannot do. I just have to be overly conscious of that. And I think forcing RJ on him, to me, the thing that I have is, why not make RJ what he is? Run the ball with RJ. Do a quarterback draw. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it come easy for him, right? Like, do stuff that, he can get confidence in just, I'm moving the ball. I think a lot of it is just, I don't think RJ Johnson's a great progression reading quarterback, but yet and still they keep putting him in progression situations. Like, I don't understand it at all.
Look at this bullshit. I'm sorry for cussing on your channel, sir.
No, you're fine.
But it's bull.
If I'm a Jackson State fan, I'm mad at TC Taylor.
Running the ball?
Why aren't you running the ball? Like, it doesn't take any of this. It doesn't take any of this. He's making it harder than what he is. He's making this harder than what it truly is. FAMU is not a good team. If you just run the ball, the game is over. It is over. And again, now they're going to score, and now you've taken all bit of confidence out of your team because they know they're not better than this team. That's it.
It's just that easy.
It's just that easy.
But
it's just that easy.
And I've been so conflicted this year because, I want my school to win, but I don't want Cozy to be here next year.
It's like that.
It's like that.
It's like
so
that.
I'm real conflicted. But it's like I don't get the play calling, bro. Like, even if I don't trust my quarterback, I still don't understand the play calling. It's like offensively, we're not even calling plays that line up with the strengths of our offense.
Facts.
We're just not running plays that make sense. But bro, I'm gonna let you go. I'm not gonna tie up your line too long. You and the fam be blessed, bro.
Appreciate it, B. Listen, man, I don't know what else y'all need me to say to y'all. I try to. people say, listen, man. TC and Rip are making this game a lot harder than what it needs to be. If I'm FAMU, I just need people to understand this. If I'm FAMU, the fact that TC Taylor, I think it's disrespectful that TC Taylor feels like he can come out and throw with a true freshman on me. Like, I think that's the disrespectful part, is that you don't care, there's nothing about my team that scares you. And honestly, I think it's TC Taylor saying like, like you're not good. Like, I can have a true freshman quarterback. We can throw the ball. I can play around the whole first half and still beat you because you're not good. If that's how you want to, I mean, I can give you a narrative to run with. That's a great narrative to have, is that you're not a good team. You're not well coached, and that I can play around with you as long as I want until I say, you know what? Okay, let's just do what we do well and run the ball. So,
introducing Sports Center for you, personalized every single day.
I mean, that to me that's the only narrative that you can really have when you're watching the first half of this game, is saying like, why is TC Taylor passing the ball as much as it is because he feels like you can't stop me if I didn't. The only way you can stop me is if I throw the ball, or if I make mistakes or whatever. Because if they literally just ran the ball, this wouldn't even be a contest. This wouldn't be a contest. It would be 21-0, 21-3, 21-6. Like, this wouldn't be a contest at all. But the more you allow the freshman to throw the ball, the more situations you can find yourself in a very uncompromising situations. They're going to run the ball again.
The handoff to Miller again. This time he's plugged up Cameron Donald. You talked about that interior line of Florida A&M, and they're pushing him back.
And nobody has blocked Cameron Donald all evening. He's been penetrating, doing a good job. You see him split those offensive linemen. That just cannot happen if you're an offensive line. And you see those guys fussing at each other. Number 62 and number 74, DeAndre Towns-Blue and Almetra Smith Jr., they know that they cannot allow that to happen.
Into the hands of Janalen Dupree, a speedster on the perimeter. He's popped out of bounds by Chase Lloyd. And so that's going to bring up third down.
And how big would this be for Florida A&M after giving up a 64-yard run if they could stop and hold them to a field goal attempt? Something Coach Colsey talked to us about, bending but not breaking.
First contact made up front by Justice Cross, but the extra effort there from Denario Davenport gives first and goal to the Tigers.
And what Cross has to do right here, you've got to wrap up. You make the big hit, but you've got to wrap up and drive and try and prevent him from falling forward.
Davenport again trying to sneak in there between the A gap, and then he's pushed back. Running alongside DeAndre Towns-Blue, the left guard, and it's second and goal. We told you coming in, Jackson State leads the SWAC, second in the nation in rushing yards with 256 on average per game. And they are starting to come alive more here in this second quarter. They got 189 on the ground so far tonight.
And I expect them to try and run behind the left guard. DeAndre.
Be a 30-second timeout.
DeAndre Towns-Blue, we talked to him and I asked Coach Taylor, you need 1 yard. Who you run behind? And he did not hesitate. I'm running behind my all-conference, all-American left guard, DeAndre Towns-Blue, the 6'5", 334-pound graduate. And when you look at his ability, he's one of those guys that can road grade, that comes out with a flat back, that fires off the football. So I expect them to run behind him, but I love the competition between him and Cameron Donald, because at 6'1", 295, he plays with a low center of gravity. And it's very difficult to, as an offensive lineman, get low enough to block against someone that's 6'1", because he has a natural bend And so that's going to be the difficulty for the 6'5" Towns Blue.
A&M after the timeout, 2 remaining, 1 for Jackson State. Amari Matthews got in like in these types of situations, and they were expecting it the entire way. A host of green jerseys to hold up Matthews.
And they tried to run behind that left side. And you see right there a good job of getting penetration.
Half the distance to the goal remains second down.
Well, one of the reasons why they were able to slow up Amari Matthews, as Florida A&M had 12 players on the field. So now they're going to...
And that's discipline. You cannot have that after a timeout.
And that could backfire here if Jackson State is able to get into the end zone. There's the push, up and through. Ahmad Miller, who caps off with a touchdown run and some extra pushing and shoving after the play. And we saw flags fly into the air. But how about Ahmad Miller, who set that up with that big 64-yard run, and they reward him with a TD run.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 8. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
And you saw what they did. They went with the gun. They had the back offset. And the play was designed for him to go up the middle. But what you do when you get in that, when you set him up like that, you allow him to see everything develop. And he was able to bounce it to the outside because he's able to see the blocking scheme develop. He saw what he needed to see, and he saw all he had to do was bounce it to the outside and basically walked in untouched. So a great play call from the Jackson State coaches after they tried to ram it in, you know, running dive plays down the middle, handing it off.
Gerardo Beza on to attempt the extra point. It's up and it's through. And Jackson State leading by a score after Ahmad Miller's 4th touchdown this season.
See the formation now. You see right there, he's able to see everything develop. He sees he has nothing down the middle of that offensive line. He's able to bounce it to the outside because you see the left side of that offensive line crash everything down. A good job by number 65, Mason Barton, to crash everything down. The tight end came in late, Jency Riley, and he was able to just bounce it to the outside. Miller was nobody there to touch him. A good job reading and taking what the defense gives you, as opposed to just putting your head down and running into all that traffic. He saw there was nothing to the outside and bounced it out.
Miller, the redshirt sophomore out of Memphis, Tennessee, closing in on the century mark. You see his average tonight better than 10 yards per carry, and the lone touchdown of the night for either team. Jackson State, also important to note, will get the ball to start the second half. So that's the type of momentum they want to take into the locker room. And for Florida A&M, they've got to figure some things out offensively.
Oh, wow. Jackson State gets the ball at half. Oh, that's game over.
A total of 62 yards in
that's
the
game over.
first half with 18 seconds remaining. And like you said earlier, a squandered opportunity on that last possession for Florida A&M.
And when you look at this Florida A&M offense, you think about last week. They had a great outing, 287 yards passing, 260 yards rushing, 6.5 yards per carry on those rush attempts.
I don't know.
And you come into this game and you get totally shut down. I think, once again, they've got to figure out what their identity is. I think the best identity for them is running the ball right at Jackson State, as opposed to trying to get to the edge. This defense is too fast, too aggressive to get to the edge and then try and plan and get north and south. I think
that's not a good game. That's not a good game plan. You don't want to run straight at Jackson State. That's not a good game.
If you can catch them in that run blitz, you're able to get big chunk yards with that run game.
After the penalty, after the touchdown,
you don't have to.
Boots it out of.
They're going to take a knee and go into half. Like, this game is not like TC. Jackson State is making this game hard. This game is not hard. You can literally win this game 21-3 and never throw another pass. Or 24-3 and never throw another pass. Very simple, man. I don't get why anybody doesn't see that. I just don't get why they don't see that.
They're holding tight. to this 1 touchdown lead. Meanwhile, RJ Johnson and this Rattler offense will take a knee and trot into the locker room. An anemic first half offensively for Florida A&M.
And the way, and what makes this even worse for FAMU is you've had opportunities defensively to take the ball away and have short fields, but your guys are missing picks, dropping picks. I mean, like, what else do you want to do? I mean, honestly, what else is there to do?
Earlier today, just win, baby. And right now, they're winning after the first 2 quarters of this one. And that message of controlling your own destiny rings true as we're joined now by head coach T.C. Taylor. And coach, just how important was it to take that momentum and get that score going in the locker room after the way your offense performed this half?
Much needed. You know, we got to settle this freshman quarterback down. You know, he had some opportunities to get a lead in that first half, but I'm very happy with Ahmad Miller, what he did right there. But very important touchdown right there. But our defense is playing great defense, and I told them this is the game that we're going to need them most, and they're answering the call.
Coach, what do you think you've done defensively where you've been able to shut down this FAMU offense?
Just personnel, you know, some things that we saw we could take advantage of as far as matchups and things like that. So, you know, that quarterback can scramble around, and they got speed at the receivers and stuff like that. But, you know, we're getting after him. I think Quincy Ivory is having had a great half in that first half, and he got to come out and do it again, the entire defense.
All right, thanks, Coach. We appreciate the time.
All right, thank you.
Well, he said, hey, defense has to step up with that freshman quarterback. They have done so. And
the defense was never the problem. Like, if you're being honest, like, listen, man. I'm gonna tell you. I'm so sorry. I hate to use this analogy, but I'm gonna have to use this analogy. FAMU is a FAMU. I'm trying to make it appropriate. I'm not trying to take it to it. I'm trying to do better. FAMU is like a trans woman. I'm sorry. It's the only example I can think of. FAMU is a trans woman, right? Like, you're looking at her and you're like, is she a woman? I think she's a girl. Is it really a girl? I don't know. And then, like, you're like, nah, she's a girl. And then you get her home and it's voila, you're not a girl, right? And you're like, I knew it. I knew it the whole time you weren't a girl, right? Like, that's what FAMU, I'm sorry, it's the only example I can come up with, right? The last 2 games, you know they're bad. You know FAMU is bad. I'm sorry. You know FAMU is a sorry-ass team. Right? But the last 2 games, you're like, are they good? Maybe they're good. I don't know. Maybe they're good. And then they go up against a good team and you're like, nope, you trash. I knew you was trash. I knew you was garbage. I knew it. That is what FAMU is. I'm sorry. It's the only example I could use, right? It's the only one that made sense to me in my brain, right? That's what FAMU is. It's they trick, you know, like in the movie, like, oh, you did the flip flop on me. It was a thing, and then it was a dog, and he did the flip and flop. Like that is what FAMU is, right? They tricked you. They tricked y'all. Like, they're a bad team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I couldn't come up with anything else, Blue. I couldn't come up with anything else. That's the only thing in my mind, like, just tricking you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. Because you're like, you know, but you don't know for sure. Like, that's the thing with FAMU. Like, you know, like, I know I know that's a guy. I know it. Like, I know, like everything in me tells me that's a guy. But, you know, hair, got the boobs done, right? Got the soft voice, but you like, your facial features are just too strong. You are a dude. And then voila, you get him home. Bam. There you go. Tricked you, right? So I don't know. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out on it. I'm out on FAMU. Hey, D from Ohio, coming to you, Brody.
Hey, Scotty, man, we was talking in the chat, me, Mike, and others. Like this is frustrating. That's one thing you can say about me. I have been preaching to the hilltops all season long since week 1. Give the freaking ball to Miller, bro.
Yeah.
Let him work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if you take a few carries and give it to Davenport runs the ball with authority. Like, I feel like you said it last week. TC's trying to be too cute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you trying to put that much pressure on Davenport? Establish the run. The score should technically be about 17-3. You get up 2 or 3 scores, then allow the freshman to make some throws so you can get him reps going into next week against Valley, then eventually the next big game against Bethune-Cookman. But they're making the game so much harder for the kid. You know what I'm saying? Now, the fumble was on him. That was a great play. You got to get down. You're on the 2 or 3 yard line. Get down, give the ball to Miller, Davenport, score the touchdown right there. But this game is so frustrating, bro. And this is what I got to say. This is an indictment on all of the SWAC coaches. We saw it in the Alabama State PV game. Poor clock management by coaches using timeouts out of a timeout. Like, it's just frustrating seeing this type of foolishness, man. Like, we have to do better. Somebody in the chat said this is the worst they've seen the SWAC in a long time. Like, it's not just the players, it's the coaches. Like, it's bad, bro. It really is bad.
I think the frustration for me with FAMU is, it's like this. Again, back to my analogy. If you want to be what you are, that's fine. It's 2025, right? My thing is with FAMU is like, just be bad at what you do well. Don't be bad at stuff you don't do well. Like that's like the idiotic thing that I'm like, if you're not if you're a fast team, then I'm just going to do stuff that helps fast people out. You know what I'm saying? Like easy throws, quick screens, toss, jet sweeps. Like, I'm just going to do stuff that helps me with my speed and just trying to figure out how I can use it. I'm going to go up tempo. I'm going to catch you off guard. Like what PV was doing today with the whole first half with that up tempo, real fast, snap it quick.
Yes.
That is what FAMU should be doing to Jackson at every point in time, shifting, all that. I want to confuse you because when you look at me, you be like, I don't think a bad team should do this. But God damn it, this is what we're going to do. But that to me is why I'm like, you're slowing the game down. You're trying to run it up the gut. You're trying to do. I'm like, what is like? We've seen enough of you to know what you are and what you're not. And
who you are.
This is not who you are. You know what I'm saying? So that's my issue, man. Like,
and RJ is looking like the guy you said he was at the beginning of the season. And as much as I love Jackson State, I'm not a homer. I don't wear the blue goggles. I call it how I see it. He had that receiver for a touchdown. He threw the ball over the wrong shoulder. Like the one third and about 7 or 8. You know what I'm saying? He threw the ball away when the guy was the dude that's calling the game for Jay called it. This kid was wide open. Allow him to catch the ball in space and make a move. Like, this guy's just bad, man. Like at the end of the day, man, this is the worst game I've seen all season. And it's mainly because of TC not calling a smart game. And then Cozy, I don't know what Cozy's doing. Like you said, you gotta go up tempo. You gotta do something to give your team a shot in the arm. I like their running backs. I just feel like they put them in predictable running yards with JSU know there's going to run the ball. So it's harder for them to make something happen. But this is one of those games you just hope it is over as quick as possible because it's like watching paint dry. It is bad.
It's really bad. And the thing for me, though, D, and my last point is they should be running like stretch plays. And the reason why I say run stretch plays is because you allow your running backs to just find their own hole, right? It's like, hey, we're stretched to the left, stretched to the right. And I'll work off that. You get what I'm saying? Like, because again, Jackson is so strong up front to just go power on power is not smart. You want that. You want to move that power and get that power moving again. And I don't agree with the announcer saying like, oh, you know, they're too fast. They are fast. But if they see what happens with fast teams is they overplay stuff, right? So they overplay the front side and they leave the back side open. So if you run stretch, you can do the same thing that Peyton Manning used to do. I stretch it all the way out to the left. I pull it back at the last minute. You've overplayed the front side. I go backside. You get what I'm saying? Like, that is, to me, how you got to manipulate a defense, but you're just not seeing it. You're just not seeing it, and that's the part, to me, that all I do is shake my head, man. I'm like, people really have to just sit through this stuff. Like, I'm like, wow, like, this is really bad. And the funny thing with Jackson is you're doing it on purpose. Like, it's not, you're purposely effing up this game. Like, FAMU is just bad. So I get why that jank is hard to watch. Jackson State is literally deliberately effing up this game for themselves. Yep. So that's
they one special teams play or one big play away from being in a dogfight. And it's still only a 7-point game. They're lucky they get the ball to start the second half. They got to come down and get some form of a points, whether it's a touchdown or field goal. But this is bad, bro. But keep up the good work, man. I'll be locked in with you the second half.
I appreciate it, D. And I agree with Turner, man. Like, when you run the ball, like, again, when you run the ball as much as you run like you should be running the ball, my thing is this, is that at the end of the day, you got to dictate to FAMU. And once FAMU dictates to say, hey, we're taking the runaway, then you pass it with the freshman. You get what I'm saying? Like, then you pass it with the freshman. But I don't get it, man. I just it just hurts my soul to watch this game. It really does. And that's my point. You have to, and people get away from that, right? Like, you could stretch it out, you know what I'm saying, to where it's like, I know a lot of people don't like going under center, right? That's the biggest issue with it. They don't like going underneath center. But, you know, you could kind of do it in a pistol. It's just a little weird, you know, because I've seen Atlanta do it a couple times in a pistol, and it just looks weird. It doesn't look right to me all the time. But, you know, but you should just try to be stretching that play, or at least do like a fake toss, and then, you know, like, let them overplay it, and then you kind of find it on the backside. Like, but your play action doesn't always have to be. It doesn't always have to be that, and you need to be running the ball with RJ, like QB power and stuff. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm not about to watch the band stuff. Hey man, I'll be back after halftime, bro. I'm gonna give me some eat.
Jackson State, never mind. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of our president, Attorney Marva Johnson, from the highest of 7 hills, the capital of Florida, please welcome what has not only become known as America's band, but one of the most exciting marching bands in the world. And Jackson State, you know that. In all the world, there's only one. The 100, one sound and one voice. I am Joe Bullock, but you know that. Somewhere, there must be a marching band that's equal or better than the Marching 100, but not in Ken Riley Stadium tonight. First, the sound. 2, Stevie Wonder. 100, show them now. And now, Jackson State, you asked for it. The rulers with experience. From our concert mosaic and from our ranger, Lindsay Sargent, please welcome our director of bands, Dr. Shelby Tiplin. One of the biggest songs, number one R&B song. I'll say it, one word, folded.
Oh my God. We still watching bands? Call lines are open 518-263-8124, 518-263-8124. Who cares about the band? I done went down, talked to the wife, talked to the kids. Jesus.
The difference is clear. And now, you know what time it is.
What time is it? Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Okay, I like that. That's pretty cool. That was cool. I like that.
Remember this?
Oh, I like it. No, they didn't play Gremlins, Jake. Hey, that's tough. That's tough. Yo, I gotta give them that. They are killing this right now. That was funny. What's that spell? Hotel? Was that hotel? What was the word that they spelled? I couldn't see it. Formation pointing at them in the stands. That was funny.
Hockey is.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. I'm not a band person, but god damn it, that was funny. That was hilarious. That was entertaining. I can't lie. That was completely entertaining. Oh man, they hit that wonk wonk Oh, that was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah, you got like that. That was dope. That was dope. Shout out to FAMU for that one. That was fire. That was very much entertaining. And I think this is the thing, right? I'm not a band guy. You know me, I'm not a band guy. But I think the thing that I like about FAMU, it's not the music. It's just that whatever they do, they don't put their instruments down. Like when they dance, they don't put their instruments down. Like they do it with the instruments. Like, and I see a lot of bands, like they'll put it down, and they do all this kicking and screaming. And like everything they do is with instruments in hand. Like that's crazy. Like all the dancing, all the stuff they be doing, it's instrument in hand. That's crazy. That to me is crazy. I'm like, oh, that's tough, because I would be damned if I had a tuba. I would be damned if I had a tuba and I gotta get down on the ground with my big ass tuba and roll around and get back up. What? Oh, hell no. If you had you gotta, oh man, with that big old thing wrapped around you, or like you got that big old bass drum or whatever, and you over here flipping and spinning and rolling it, man, heck to the no. Give me a triangle. I'll be out there. Ding. I'll roll, spin, do whatever. Ding. Blinga, 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 blinga. Bing. Bing. Blinga, blinga, blinga. Like I'll be killing that shit. Bling. I'll be killing that, Jay. You can have me spinning and kicking and flipping and all that, but hell no, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Give me a little clarinet or something like that. I'll be out there piper and you know what I'm saying? Straight Green Ranger. You know what I'm saying? Like, but hell no, not with the big ass tubas and stuff. Shoot, that's crazy work. I'm not. Y'all bugging. Baby flag for you, Scotty. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, listen, I'll be out there. Oh, I caught that too. I'll be out there. You know what I'm saying? But you not about to catch me. You not about to catch me out there with no big ass tuba trying to get on the ground and get my ass back up. I'm gonna be out there just like this. I'll be out there just like looking up at the stars. Like, man, they are, hell nah, you ain't about to catch me doing none of that. 13 passing yards? 13 passing yards?
Too fast. They're not getting anything on those edges. They need to try and affect that defense.
13 passing yards? That's crazy.
Getting anything on those edges. They need to try and affect that defense down the gut.
Well, we talk about the bell cows, and here's a good look at one of them. Denario Davenport, D squared, 8 rushes, 68 yards. Miller getting warmed up on the bike, 97 yards. You see his yards per carry, both very effective when they tote the rock, and we'll get a chance to see them on their first offensive possession of the second half as the Tigers receive the kickoff and looking for some space and an opportunity to get out to a good gain. And that's Kobe Paul on the return, and a flag out as well.
And you know, Tiffany, we talked about Davenport, we talked about Miller. We haven't talked about Terrell. There's another player that's capable of doing exactly what those two guys did in the first half. And that's the danger of playing against this offense. You can't concentrate on one guy because they have so many capable backs.
Man, after this, man, me and the wife going to Raising Cane's, man. Gotta get some food.
For tonight, listening in to his officials. As
Willie's OC wasn't good. Willie's OC was Willie.
Personal foul, hands to the face on the return team.
Willie's OC was Willie. What are we talking about?
Those fouls will offset. We will re-kick.
So
if you're FAMU, you're mad.
You have to think this is a positive outcome for Florida A&M because they have really good field position.
That's what I'm saying. You're mad if you're FAMU. You should not. You shouldn't want no re-kick.
Momentum shifted in the second part of the second half. It was 2 minutes and some change left, and Jackson State was able to get that big run to get down the field to get that score, that touchdown on the board. I thought that's what.
If I'm Ahmad Miller, don't talk to me, TC. Hand me the freaking ball, boy. Hand me the ball, baby.
They have to get a stop defensively here. I don't think they can give up a touchdown and stay in this football game. I think if they give up another touchdown, it starts to get away from them.
Let me get a quick thought from you. What did you think of the bands at halftime?
I thought it was an excellent show, but I have to lean towards that 100. Because of the end part.
Okay, see, thank you for your opinion. Now, when you talked about the field position on that last kickoff, this is even better for Jackson State.
I don't know what happened on the kickoff. That was not a great kickoff that time, so it was a short kick, and they were able to get
Listen, man, position. I'm never giving Grambling no grace or kudos. You know why? You walk around with a handicap drum. That I'm not respecting that. You literally got one person dragging it and the other person playing it. But nobody wants to see that little handicap ass drum. I feel like the dude off of Harlem Nights. Stop shooting that little piece of shit. Like nobody wants you playing that little handicap ass drum everywhere. Just come on, man. Like stop it, man. Stop it. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That run right there. As Ahmad Miller, who was outstanding in that.
Oh, nobody want to see that handicap ass drum getting pulled around and taken everywhere.
High 180 yards, averaging 9.4 yards per carry. And he's doing much of the same here tonight. Well on track if they continue to feed him the rock. Dancing, cutting back inside. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 2. As Chase Lloyd makes the tackle. He's a ground and pound kind of guy.
All FAMU should be doing all gosh darn day is run blitzing. We are pinning our ears back and we're getting after this ball. Period. That's it. That's it. Run blitz. Run blitz.
Once again.
Absolutely.
Watch the tight end right here.
If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it.
They have to pick up 2 yards. That would put them in Rattler territory. As the sticks at the 49-yard line.
And look for them to run behind left guard DeAndre Towns Blue. That's their bell cow on the offensive line.
It's Miller. Miller gets the space needed. And he's brought down by Nayron Jenkins, but a fresh set of downs to work with for the Tigers.
And one of the things that you're noticing on all of these runs is number 74 and number 56 at the second level. Those are your guards. They're getting up on those linebackers, covering those linebackers. That's what you have to prevent if you're Florida A&M from the defensive front. You've got to occupy those guards. Don't allow them to get to the second level.
Again, they run it up ahead with Ahmad Miller. So a steady dose of Ahmad Miller. Pick up a 4 on the play. And you go back to big number 56, Brian Williams. They call him Bam. He can play anywhere along that offensive line. DeAndre Towns Blue, as you mentioned. An all SWAC selection and All-American. Here on 2nd down. Lockhart has the man. The step from Rimbert all by himself. And Nate, I got you, my boy, Rimbert. In for the score, 46 yards.
It's just that easy when you run the ball. It's just that easy when you run the ball. You dictate the defense. Easy read. And again, you don't leave the middle of the field open to a freshman quarterback. Like that's an easy read. Again, it's not hard, man. This game is not hard at all. At all. I don't know what else you again, you know what, this FAMU's a bad team. I don't know what anybody else thought. Like,
one of the things, Tiffany, when you
it's just a bad team.
The ball very effectively, you start to beat up on the offensive line and the defensive line, and watch the defensive line on this play. You got no pass rush. Those guys are tired because they got beat up with that run game.
The fact that he was able to stare that pass down as long as he was and no safety got over there, like, I'm confused about where the safety was in the first place. Let me see. Where's the safety at on this play? There's no way you should be able to stare down that pass that long. He caught him on a double move. He caught him on a slant. He caught him on a post and go. Like, it wasn't even a slant and go. Really, it's a post and go. He caught him on a double move, and they're in quarters. They're in quarters. Like, it's no safety over the top. They're in quarters. They're in quarters coverage, and the safety has number 2. If the number 2 goes deep, it becomes man. Like, and the other safety doesn't get back deep enough to even help. Oh man, this is just bad on all the way around. It's just bad. Oof. That was just bad. Again. Too easy.
Run right by him. Nobody on the back end to cover him up. An easy pitch and catch for Jackson State on that play. But it all started with that effective run game. Beating up those.
You don't listen, man. It's not hard. Football is never hard. If you can't stop the run, you have to add more people to the box. More people in the box means less people in coverage. Less people in coverage, 9 times out of 10 means somebody's in man. And then you put your best receiver on their worst cover guy, and bam, touchdowns happen. And it was such a bad throw. I need the throw was so bad. Rembert had time to wait and still catch the ball. Like, it literally like just waited. It.
Taylor ready to kick it away. Canary Wilcher on the return, and Wilcher is slung around and brought to the ground as the ball pops out. But they're going to say Wilcher was down as Kenzavius Lundy was picking it up just in case.
The player was down by contact before the ball came out. First down, Florida A&M.
I don't know about that one.
Kenzavius Lundy, who was the one who wrestled Wilcher to the ground. Hargan, who picked it up. And it's going to set up 1st and 10.
I don't think Jackson State's defense is. I don't think Jackson State's defense is undisciplined. I just think they're edgy. They play with an edge, and with playing with the edge, you're going to get penalties. But you can live with those penalties against a bad team. You just can't live with those penalties against a good team, right? So, like, if you were playing a better quarterback, you couldn't live with those penalties. But when you're playing a bad team like FAMU, it doesn't hurt you in any form or fashion because they can't capitalize on anything. They just can't.
Field, our replay official. So
like, and the thing, and the thing that makes this game so bad in FAMU, and I keep saying it, RJ should not be the starting quarterback because you play bad defenses, which allowed you to show something he's really not. Like, and you'll have Cozy talking him up. He's not a good quarterback, right? Because what do you do against the good teams tells you what I need you. What you do against good teams shows me what you are, not what you do against bad teams. Bad teams you're supposed to beat up on. Bad teams you're supposed to score. What do you do when you play against teams you're supposed to lose to, right? That's why I keep trying to explain to y'all. It's a difference between a truck and a trailer, right? And I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, so when you play against better competition, what do you look like? And if you look bad, that's really who you are. It's not like if your level of play can't step up to the level of competition, what good are you? What that means as an offensive guy, now I got to figure out how to hide your deficiencies or how to play around your the deficiencies of who you are and what you do, right? That's why I don't feel like RJ Johnson should be the starting quarterback for FAMU, because he has way more deficiencies than he has good things. And on top of that, FAMU doesn't capitalize off what he does well, which kind of is like, he throws a really good seam ball. He throws some good deep balls every now and again, but really it's his legs. That's really where he's better at than Chet Petty, and they don't really use those, right? So again, it's that. So, but to answer your question, no, I don't think they're undisciplined. They're just really edgy. They play with an edge, and most great defenses play to that edge to where they're so physical that you're just like, oh man, like calm it down. But that's what makes them great, right? And that's the thing where like you don't see, and this is why I don't think Prairie View is a top defense in nothing, because they don't play with that edge. They don't play with that. Like, I want y'all to think about the Alabama State defense last year and the Jackson State defense this year. Like, they just play with a physicality that was just hard to match. They wanted to hit you. They wanted to go downhill. That's what you see with great defenses. You don't see great defenses just getting ran through. That ain't happening, right? So just is what it is. And you know me, anytime Colorado loses is a great day for me. Oh man, no biggie, man. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Review of that last play, the return from Canary Wilcher. He was ruled down by contact, and the whistle blew as Lundy stripped it loose. Hargan picked it up and ran it into the end zone. But a couple of things that you have to consider here. First, look at this, as it appears that Wilcher is knocked down before the ball
his butt is down.
out.
Like his butt is down.
The officials blow it dead.
Because if they did in fact blow it dead, which I believe they did, they may have done it prematurely. Let's hear from Preston.
After further review, the play on the field has been overturned. The runner lost the ball before he went down. The ball was recovered by Jackson State. It's going to be first down, Jackson State, on the 15-yard line.
I think what they're saying is, even if they blew it dead, they jumped on it immediately. So if there's an immediate
that's tough, fam.
and the officials can go back and say, okay, we made an error in saying that he was down by contact, they'll award them the football. So I think that is what the officials came to the conclusion of, and decided to award the football to Jackson State. But what a big turn of events right now. And for Florida A&M, you've got to hold them to a field goal attempt right here. You cannot give up another touchdown.
First fumble loss this season for Florida A&M. That sets up Jackson State in another grand position to try to add more points to the board from Florida A&M's territory inside the 20, as Ahmad Miller, the ball carrier, brought down by Brian Norris Jr. And just around the 14.
And a good job by Brian Norris Jr. to diagnose where the ball carrier was, where the ball was, and get his arms around his legs to get him down.
So Davenport in the backfield, he gets the handoff, runs to that left side, bounces to the outside.
That was holding.
And he's pushed out of bounds by Jason Riles.
And Brian Norris, on that play, you've got to be gap sound. Once again, you allow Davenport to bounce it to the outside, get to that edge. You see the speed. You've got to keep that edge. You've got to maintain that edge and make him cut it back where pursuit is coming from.
You feel like, Forrest, this is the time of the game that Jackson State can break it wide open if they can tack on another score. Mari Matthews trying to get a hard-earned 1 yard and is not able to do so.
If you're Jackson State, you go for this. FAMU doesn't scare you at any point in time. Go for it. Who cares? You stop them. They got to go 90 yards. They're not going 90 yards on your defense. I'm running the – matter of fact, I'm telling them I'm running the ball. That's how disrespectful I am. I'm going to put on my Miller. I'm going to run the ball, and I'm telling you can't stop me. Even if you do stop me, you're not turning around and going 90 yards on my defense. Point blank, period. It just is what it is. And touchdown. Like, come on, bro.
Denario Davenport runs it into the end zone for another score. Davenport, the senior out of Macomb, Mississippi, who led the way last week on the ground for Jackson State. Tacks on some more insurance and 20 unanswered points from Jackson State. They look to make it 21 with this PAT attempt from Gerardo Beza, successful in doing so. And Jackson State widening the gap and making it ever so difficult now for Florida A&M. Another look here at Davenport's TD.
And you see what they did? They ran behind that left side. The left guard and the left tackle did a good job of getting that outside shoulder and allowing for the back to cut up in the alley. That's a good job by Barton and by Towns Blue, and that's what you want to do. You want to get that outside arm, get that outside shoulder, turn the shoulders of the defensive lineman, and what you do is you allow for an alley for the back to run up in. Davenport ran in basically untouched because of their ability to get movement at the point of attack, turn those shoulders of those defensive linemen, and create the alley.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: Vegas don't be missing, bro. Vegas, I mean, they miss every now and again, but Vegas had these Bamas as a 19.5-point favorite. A 19.5-point favorite at home. Jackson State was a 19.5-point favorite. At home. That's crazy. Vegas don't be missing, bro.
3 yards.
Vegas do not be missing.
3.8 yards per rush, 2 yards per pass completion, and 0 for 6 on third down. So offensively, they have not gotten the job done this evening.
The song that Sonic Boom's playing goes, "Here we go." It was like a 90s R&B hit. Here we go. I know
poetry.
Yes. Okay. I see you, Forrest.
Absolutely.
I know the viewers at home were wondering if we thought that we would be auditioning for an R&B group.
Who's not got talent?
I'll raise my hand on that one. From the 25 is where Florida A&M will start their drive. And R.J. Johnson behind a little bit, but it's still a catchable ball. It's incomplete to Miles Campbell, the tight end.
And something else that stood out throughout this evening is Jackson State has been able
Oh my goodness, boy, that boy can't throw the ball.
So offensive line has to do a better job of picking up what they're doing pass rush wise, because you got 7 back into coverage. I don't care if you've got Aaron Rodgers back there throwing the football. You've got to give your quarterback time to find the opening and a space to get the ball down the field. When they're getting 4, pressure with 4, that's a problem.
Well, you see Quincy Ivey was in pursuit, but the first to get there was Mike Ashton Taylor. You see a little dance afterward because they were both giving chase immediately.
But you see right there, initial pressure, immediate pressure. They're getting pushed at the point of attack. They're pushing the Florida A&M offensive linemen back into the pocket. The offensive linemen for Florida A&M have to do a better job.
This is bad. I told you weren't a good team. I said that. I don't know what.
Now 3rd and 13. FAMU's yet to convert here tonight. Stands tall in the pocket, delivers the pass to Jamar Taylor, shakes the defender. Taylor stays on his feet and is brought down, but critical first down as Florida A&M able to convert on their
That's a good throw. That's actually a really good throw.
Taylor goes off limping after that 20-yard gain.
And a good job by Johnson, sidestepping the pass rush, standing tall, and allowing his receiver to find an open space for him to deliver the ball down the field in the seam to get them that first down, convert their first 3rd down of the game.
Thad Franklin Jr. up the gut.
Going back to that pass, watch the quarterback Johnson. He sidesteps the pass rush. You see him stand tall in the pocket, deliver a strike, And a good job by his receiver, Taylor, to not only catch the football, squeeze the football, but get positive yards and make a play. We saw him kind of limping going off the field. Hopefully he'll be able to get back out there. But a good job by Johnson, standing tall in the pocket, not panicking when the pass rush got to him immediately.
Here on second down, Johnson again has a man and turned around. Miles Campbell thrown out of bounds, pass incomplete. One of the things that we heard from the coaching staff.
See, the things that T-Set did really well against this Jackson State defense. The things that T-Set did really well against this Jackson State defense was the simple passes he can make, right? Like the hitches, the comebacks, just the stuff that 5-yard turnaround, 6-yard, 7-yard turnaround. Like he had the arm strength and the arm talent to get those passes across the field. Because again, as you see, what they play across the field is different to what they play on close to the field, right? It's close to the boundary. So, you have, that's a great tackle by Taylor. Jesus Christ, that's a fucking great play by Taylor because it was nothing but green grass in front of him. You know what I'm saying? But they can't even they don't even do the simple stuff, right? Like just a 5-yard hit. This is a great play by Taylor, by the way. I just want to be like, that's a great play by Taylor. The guy got to make the block.
Taylor,
he makes the block. He's still running.
They had the blocking set up, but Taylor recognizing what they were trying to do and navigating through the traffic to get to the ball carrier.
And Taylor not happy about that, Coach Taylor.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 15 making contact with an official. That is number 15's first foul.
He should be gone.
Disqualification. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
And that's against the starting free safety Cam Salas. So what would have been 4th and 7 for Florida A&M marches them into Tiger territory after the penalty. And 1st and 10 for the Rattler offense. So they get to stay.
I told you they just play with the edge. But again,
after that,
you don't even I get TC Taylor's mad because you don't want to have bad habits or whatever. But they're just so good, it doesn't even matter. He can't say that though, right? Like you got to be hard on these guys because the expectation is we got bigger fish to fry. We can't let stuff like this. That's the first reverse I didn't seen all year.
Rogers with a solid game.
That's the first reverse I didn't seen all year from FAMU. And I like the call. I really do like the call. I think a reverse pass would have been great too, but I do like the call.
This offense in check pretty much the entire first half until the last 2 minutes. So this game is not over. They've just got to continue to push forward. I thought this was a positive play, something we haven't seen on early downs from Florida A&M. You got a positive play. You put yourself in second and very manageable. You open up the playbook now as opposed to being predictable with the play call. But I think they have to continue to look to get vertical, but you've got to protect the quarterback.
Gets it out, and that's Kadari Wilcher. Wilcher scampers out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Maybe they'll spot it at the 19. And a red zone opportunity for Florida A&M.
If you're FAMU, you got to score a touchdown right here. I love the whip route. Love the whip route.
And then you allow your quarterback to get the ball to a playmaker in the open field, and you see what Wilcher is able to do.
You got the boundary side right there. Yep. Good field. Good fake. Good fake. Good fake. Great fake.
With a good adjustment there on the catch.
Good pump. Great pump. It got Ivory out of the way. Slid him over inside. Go ahead and stay with it.
Trim this 3-score deficit.
Quarterback got to keep that.
Haley, who was churning his legs.
Oh, my bad.
Room to run, thanks to Ashton Taylor.
I don't know what to say. Sorry.
One of the things that's been impressive about Johnson this drive is he stood tall in the pocket with pressure around him, pressure coming out the field. He's trusted his offensive lineman to give him the time necessary to deliver the ball, and he's doing a good job of finding his receivers in these pockets and giving them an opportunity to make a play after the catch.
Let's see what they dial up here on 2nd and goal.
Don't do jet sweep.
Bringing
False start.
in motion, quickly out.
Nice.
Flooded to the right side.
Or the false start, though.
That's Jamal Haley in for the Rattlers. So he just kind of leaked out the backfield and boom.
That was definitely a false start.
Into the end zone.
And again, very impressive with Johnson's poise on that play.
Great play call. But again, I need people to understand they're going to give you as much as you want. Like they're not playing, you know, they just like, hey, just keep everything in front of us. They want you to earn every bit of it. Great play call, by the way. But they want you to earn every bit of it. So again, hey, you'll take that. But again, how you beat Jackson State is passing the ball. I can't stress that enough. I don't get why people have not seen it over and over and over again. The way that you beat Jackson State is you have to throw the ball. And how they try to get you is this. If you see it, they do it with Quincy, right? What they do is, and hopefully I can do this the right way. Let me see. What they do is this with Quincy, right? Let me see. Sorry. Right. So they'll have D lineman, right? The circle one is Quincy. This is Quincy, right? He's to the boundary or to the field. However, he's usually to the boundary, which is the short side. So let's say this is the out of bounds line, right? They'll have a corner here. They'll have a receiver here. He drops the corner. All he has to worry about is whatever goes deep, right? The Quincy drops for anything underneath. So what you want is the guy to sit, but usually Quincy's in that area. So when RJ pumped it and the guy went up, this guy's already back because he's worried about the back. That's how he got the hit. But this is what you have to attack. You got to attack Quincy in that space because he shouldn't be able to move, right? He should not. You got to find a way you got to attack this area right here for them. And that's where you see one of the plays come through. But you got to attack this Jackson State defense because 9 times out of 10, that is how they keep people in front of them.
Give it to your speed guy on the outside. Here you deliver a strike to number 21 Edwards, and I like the patience. He had a defender coming down to him, Shamar Hawkins, but he stood tall, allowed for Haley to clear that.
This is a difficult one because it's really a matchup of brute strength in the trenches. And if I had to pick right now, I would say Jackson because of their ability to pass the ball. And Delaware State's corners are really bad. Like Nathan Rimbart would have a field day against Delaware State's DBs. I don't think Delaware State has enough team talent to win that game.
Jackson State.
As much as I would love to see them lose, you get what I'm saying? That's a hold.
On the return across the 25, little juke move brought down beyond the 30. So remember when we came on the broadcast, we talked to you about just the significance of this game and how crucial it was for both teams.
And I definitely said this week, you have to have 2 people on Rimbert at all times. Like, I don't understand. Rimbert is a quarterback's best friend. Why? Because he's a speedster. And when you put a speedster in the slot, it gives him so many outs and goals and whatever. There's no way that kid shouldn't have at least somebody over top of him at all times.
Denario Davenport, who continues to drag defenders along. He scored that touchdown on the last drive. Davenport just continues to churn those legs. He's strong, hard-nosed runner.
And it starts with the offensive line getting up to those second-level defenders. Watch number 62, the center. Watch the big fella get up to the second-level defender, cover up that linebacker, and just take him for a ride. And that's what you're looking for from your offensive lineman. Take him for a ride. You want to run up in there with the big guys, you're going to get dealt with. And I love what I saw from the center on that play.
This time collapsing to the ground is Davenport. May have slipped Simeon Hines with the tackle. First 5 drives, you see 3 points netted out of 31 plays and also a fumble, but they've been mightily effective on the last 3 drives. And up until that touchdown from Florida A&M, they had scored 21 unanswered points. Davenport again.
And one of the things that Florida A&M was successful in doing early in the football game is occupying space, occupying those interior linemen, not allowing them to get up on those second-level defenders. They've got to get back to what Cameron Donald and Nicholas Demetrius was doing early in this football game, occupying those interior guys, not allowing those guys to disengage and get up to the second-level defenders, covering up those linebackers. This is a big third down right here.
And just taking what's underneath the crossing route, and there is Jamil Gardner Jr. sidesteps the defender and into.
Dog, that's all they throw. Drags and seams. Who is on the fucking who scouts this team? That's all they throw is drags, and nobody touches them. Nobody runs with them. Nobody touches them. It is the easiest throw in the book, and when you're 3rd and fucking 7 and you get it with a drag route is like the ultimate disrespect. The ultimate disrespect. I don't get it.
Charlotte, North Carolina has made the adjustments.
Who is watching film?
Ground game. They go back to Davenport, who bounces out of the bunch, and brought down by Nayron Jenkins. Well, we know one thing holds true. Jackson State can run the football about as good as anybody in all of FCS football. They trail just Delaware State, who leads the country. Right behind them is Jackson State, and again, impressively, they have eaten up a lot of yards here tonight with that rushing attack. 230 plus yards. A fumble, and who falls on top of it? The delay response from Lockhart. We saw a couple of green jerseys dive in as well. And they're going to try to sort this one out to see who comes up with it. And I think Lockhart holds on to it.
And it looked like Florida A&M had an opportunity. You see the ball right there at the mesh point. He tries to pull it out late. And right there, number 18 had an opportunity to jump on that football. A good job by Lockhart being able to cover that up. Antonio Kamen had an opportunity to cover that up, but a better job by Lockhart being able to get control of that football.
There's Cameron Donald making the tackle on Travis Terrell Jr.
And you have to look at this as possibly 4-down territory for Coach T.C. Taylor and this Jackson State offense. They've been able to move the ball effectively running. I think they're going to continue to challenge that defensive front and try and run the ball right at them with Lockhart and with Miller. Lockhart's doing a good job of bouncing it to the outside when it's not anything there in the middle. And what excuse me, not Lockhart, but Davenport's doing a good job of bouncing it to the outside. And what I like is the patience that he's running with.
Lockhart looking, stays downfield, a hold, and this one is going to come back as Lockhart fighting for yardage here.
And not the kind of contact you want your quarterback to take as well, putting his head down. But a good job by the Florida A&M back-end defenders, not giving Lockhart anywhere to go with the football.
Holding.
Good job.
Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And a good job by Lockhart not trying to force it and giving up an easy turnover.
So now 3rd and 17, and again, ground and pound for TC Taylor's team. 251 yards and counting, their 5th game with 200+ yards. On the ground. So here,
They should definitely blitz right here.
down, and before they can get the snap off, Jackson State calls.
Okay, you okay. I get why you drop back. You make the quarterback make the read. You make them, but at some point in time, man, you got to speed this kid up. But they need to be worried about him buying time. They need to be worried about him buying time.
Year so far against Alabama State, and then losing to an FCS opponent for the first time in over a year last weekend against Grambling State in that Las Vegas.
The thing that I don't like that Lockhart does, he works the pocket really well sometimes, but it comes at a hindrance sometimes because him going up and going back, going up and going back gets old linemen in trouble because then they gotta do with the D lineman. So that's just a little thing. But I mean, it's great pocket awareness sometimes. But either get up and escape out or drop back and roll out. But
Miller inserted into the ball game. They hand it off to Miller, and Miller coming up big on the run there.
Do you know how disrespectful that is to run 3rd and 17 and pick up 17 yards? But again, you're not good. Run the ball.
Look at those.
You're not good.
Getting up on those second-level defenders once again.
You're not good. I don't know what else you want me to say. You're not good.
Free release. Their interior offensive linemen giving them free releases up to those interior and second-level defenders.
Wow. 1st and goal. Ahmad Miller tripped up, still fighting to get into the end zone. Left just a half a yard short.
And right now, the offensive line for Jackson State is wanting it a little bit more than the defensive line from Florida A&M. They're beating them to the punch, and they're knocking guys.
They gonna quit. They gonna quit. I need y'all to think about this. I want y'all to think about this. Just bear with me real quick, right? After halftime, listen to this. After halftime, 3 straight drives. No, the last three drives Jackson had was touchdown, 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 right? Touchdown, touchdown. 2 of those touchdowns came just all runs. 1 was the pass. Now imagine if you do that in the first half. 42-3, 42-10, 38-10. Again. The narrative is really simple. You're not good. They know you're not good. And at the end of the day, if that kid would have thrown 5 passes today, just 5 passes, they would have beat y'all by 3 touchdowns. I need you to understand I need y'all to understand how bad this FAMU team is. That kid could have literally thrown 5 passes in the game. He really didn't have to throw over 10. He literally could have thrown 8 passes. No lie. He could have thrown 8 passes today. They could have all been drag routes, and they still would have won the game in a landslide. In a landslide. So, again, Cozy needs to be fired. I don't give a damn if it's an interim AD, a part-time AD, a AD in waiting. I don't give a damn. Cozy's trash. This team is trash. FAMU football is trash at this point. It's very simple. It's very simple. It's really nothing to yell about. It's just like is facts. And that's why the only analogy that came to my head was the trans. Like, you know that's a woman. I mean, you know that's a man. You know it's a man. You're just staring at it and you're just like, I know you're a guy. I know you're a guy. But you came over, got the wig. It's dark in the club. Got the wig, got the makeup, trying to talk with a soft voice. And then you take him, she home, and what? Voila. A third leg. And this is what FAMU is. Voila. You're trash. Voila, magic. Voila, magic. That's where you at. You are what you are. And again, for people hyping this up, or for people, and that's why Mr. Campbell said it perfectly. We're praying. We're praying. Like he said it perfectly. He didn't have no score. We're praying. Because you should be. Because you don't want to get exposed on national television. And this ain't national television, ESPN Plus, but you don't want to get exposed on ESPN. But that's what's going on right now. Your players getting exposed, your coach is getting exposed, your quarterback getting exposed. Everybody's getting exposed. And what makes this even worse is Jackson State is giving the game away. Like penalties and dumb play calling and all type of stuff. You couldn't ask for a more sloppier game with a true fucking freshman quarterback. They could have played the white boy. They could have played Stouffer and still whooped your ass.
And if they want to make it back to the Cricket Celebration Bowl, 2nd and goal from the 16. The speedster, Travis Terrell, is met by Corey Collier Jr. And now 3rd and goal after that penalty a couple of plays ago.
And how costly was that penalty? If they're able to get a stop here and put them in a position to attempt a field goal and possibly stop that as well, you're on the 1 yard line basically, and you get that costly penalty.
It don't matter. They about to score anyway. If I'm TC Taylor, it's 4 down territory.
On 3rd downs, Lockhart with all the time in the world finally getting loose is Demetrius. And then Lockhart just finds enough running room, steps out of bounds, and 4th and goal. And we'll see the field goal unit come onto the field.
And a good job by Florida A&M. Staying on top of those receivers, not giving Lockhart anywhere to go at the football, forcing him to make a decision to run the football, and then not allowing him to get to the end zone. You want to stay on those receivers until he breaks the line of scrimmage, because if he doesn't break the line and you go in attack, now you give him somewhere to go at the football.
Little chip shot here for Gerardo Beza from 22 yards out. It's up and it's through. And extending their lead is Jackson State.
Now, if you're the Florida A&M faithful, you got to say to yourselves, okay, we're down 17. It's the 4th quarter. But we scored 21 points in the 4th quarter last week, so it is possible.
Let me tell you what many did not think was possible was UAPB, Arkansas Pine Bluff, putting up a 40-piece on Southern. Congratulations
40 of them
to
things.
Alonzo Hampton and the Golden Lions, Bethune-Cookman and Alabama State with big wins today to move to 4-1, tied for 1st place. How about Grambling with back-to-back wins as they take down Alabama A&M and Alcorn State with a convincing win over Texas Southern.
And the team to watch that nobody's been talking about is Bethune-Cookman. They are coming on as of late. They've still got games against Grambling and against Jackson State, which will be huge.
There's just so much that can shake out the remainder of the season, but thus far it's been quite entertaining for the first 9 weeks of college football. You just think about just some of the scenarios and what's remaining.
Boy,
the different
you know how like when you're a parent and you so mad, like, you know, like everybody can get it, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody get a whooping, like even though like it's one kid, like everybody can get a whooping. I think Southern should be to the point where like everybody can get fired. Like I'm like just because of how bad they lost, like Roman Banks should just be fired. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like Bama's just getting fired left and right. Just because of that. Just because of that. Like, that is so embarrassing to get 40 points put on you by UAPB. By UAPB, everybody getting fired.
Themselves in a position to play for that SWAC championship, representing the East.
Again, you see this pass right here? That's the pass that T-Set was killing Grambling on. That's the pass T-Set was killing Grambling. So then you end up in 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 4 instead of 2nd and 8, right? And just little things like that. That to me was why the game at Grambling was a lot different than the game here, because they took advantage of those opportunities. And you're not seeing it now. Again, Jackson State is going to give you that because they don't want anything. They don't want no big plays. But I'm just saying that's the pass that they took advantage of a lot of times.
And a good job by Johnson recognizing that he had an opportunity to get the first down and give his team a new set of downs. Now he's got to try and get vertical with that pass game. The offensive line has got to do a good job. They've got 4 pass rushers. They're showing 4. Now they drop back 8 in the coverage, 3. He should have all the time that he needs.
Tries to fake out a defender, does so, but the great pursuit there from Carmelo Jones.
How he put him on the ground and he still tackled him. That's different. He juked him out of his shoes and still tackled him.
You've got 3 pass rushers and you've got 5.
He juked him out of his shoes and he still tackled him. That's crazy.
Have immediate pressure.
On 2nd and 5, a gain of a couple for Thad Franklin Jr. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 3 for Florida A&M. And trailing by 3 scores, Florida A&M needs to make good of every opportunity they have remaining. You said it earlier, they had their chances in the first half. It was 10-3 going into the locker room, and then Jackson State's offense has exploded since. In and out of the hands of Jalen Rogers, which would have been a first down. Instead, the drop, the 3rd of the night for Florida A&M, brings up 4th down.
And Rogers turned his head trying to make a play before getting possession of that football. You can't worry about the contact that you're going to take. You know they're coming. You're in the middle of the field. You're going to get hit, but you've got to get control of that football, squeeze the football. You've got to get the first down.
And right here, Florida A&M going for it, or at least showing that they may go for it here. 5 of 11 on the season. On 4th down. And before the snap, a timeout is taken by Jackson State.
Before the snap, timeout, Jackson State. Their second charge, timeout. To be a full timeout.
A timeout on the field. We will take it as well with 11:40 remaining. 4th and 3 upcoming for Florida A&M.
When businesses thrive, so do our communities.
My name is Oscar Zavaleta. I'm the principal for the Montes Group. I just knew that I wanted to be the person that made the decisions.
To do. Bank of America. Contact one of our local business specialists at bankofamerica.com/localbusiness.
Welcome back to what should be a thrilling second half. This is star power from the jump.
All of ESPN college basketball, all in one place.
Hey, welcome back to what what should be a thrilling second half.
Plan your commute around this dreary Monday morning.
Absolutely electric tonight.
Wait! Wait, wait, wait! Go, go, go! Yeah!
This is star power from the jump.
Now basketball is my favorite sport. I'm ready to dribble up and down the court. That's smooth! Are you not entertained?
All in one place.
Important fourth down back here at Bragg, as it looks like James Colsey III electing to go for it. Do you like the call here?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're down 17. What the fuck you supposed to do?
And for the quarterback, Johnson, you have to realize you just need a first down right here. You don't need to get it all.
From their 44, got to get to the 46-yard line, and the pass is incomplete. And the defense from Jackson's.
Somebody's got to make this make sense to me. Why would you do that to the short side of the field? Can somebody just help me understand why you would do that concept, a spacing concept, to the wide side of the field?
He calls his defense the dark side defense. Florida A&M has a defense that they've called in the past the dark cloud defense. What have you seen out of that dark side defense from Jackson State tonight?
They've won that side of the football with the pressure that they've been able to get with 3 and 4 pass rushers, dropping 7 and 8 back into coverage, not giving the quarterback anywhere to go with the football. Florida A&M has done a poor job of protecting their quarterback, giving them time. When you've got 8 back defending the pass, when you've got 7 back defending the pass, you've got to allow your receivers to find a space to create an opening for the quarterback to throw the football. They just have not done that this evening.
Meanwhile, they also just have not stopped Davenport, Ahmad Miller, this rushing attack as Nate Rippert already with the touchdown along the right side, and he's in! The Tigers wide receiver takes the jet sweep, and he's off, and nobody caught him.
And it almost looked like Florida A&M was not prepared for that play. Watch when Rimbert gets the football. The defense just stops. You've got defenders over there, and they just stopped. And they were paused looking into the backfield.
Nate Rimbert's second touchdown of the night. And Jackson State continues to roll. 434 total yards amassed here on Ken Riley Field on the home field of Florida A&M. Well, Nate Rimbert saying, I got your back, brother. I can do it on the receiving end, and I can run it in with it.
I'm about to take my wife to get something to eat, man. Y'all be blessed, man. I'm not about to do this in my life. I got life minutes I'm not about to waste. All right, y'all be blessed.